Why does happiness seem to slip through our fingers just when we try to grab it? We live in a world that sells us the idea that the pinnacle of life is being happy. An incessant promise on social media, in self-help books, and even in casual conversations about the future. But what if this pursuit is what makes us miserable? Nietzsche, the philosopher who dared to challenge humanity's greatest dogmas, suggested something radical. Seeking happiness is a mistake. He believed that the true engine of life is not pleasure, but power. Not dominion over others, but power over oneself, the ability to overcome challenges, grow, and expand. And here's the paradox. When we stop chasing happiness, it finds us as a natural consequence of a life well lived. Think about how modern society trains us to avoid discomfort. We want shortcuts to success, anesthetics to suffering, and easy solutions to complex problems. However, Nietzsche saw suffering not as an evil to be eliminated, but as the price of greatness. Happiness, according to him, is like a shadow that follows us when we are busy facing life with courage. To understand Nietzsche's vision of happiness and power, it is necessary to delve into his central idea, the will to power. Unlike how the term may sound, it is not about controlling others or accumulating wealth, but about a deeper, vital drive, the force that moves us to grow, overcome adversity, and become stronger versions of ourselves. Nietzsche believed that this will is the true essence of life, the invisible engine that transforms challenges into opportunities for evolution. Happiness, in this context, is not an end to be achieved, but the brilliance that emerges when we are aligned with this force. It's the relief after winning a battle, the silent pride of someone who has overcome themselves. Let's contrast this with modern thinking. We are bombarded by slogans that encourage us to be happy now, as if happiness were an instantaneous product. But Nietzsche saw this desire for happiness as a weakness, an escape from true life, which requires effort and sacrifice. For him, avoiding discomfort is avoiding growth, and that is where the great contradiction of modernity lies. By challenging this obsession, Nietzsche offers us an alternative path, one that requires courage, but promises something far greater than fleeting happiness. We live in the age of compulsory happiness. Our social networks are full of impeccable smiles, paradisiacal destinations, and motivational phrases that tirelessly tell us that life is only worth it if we are happy. This pressure to appear happy rather than experience it creates a subtle trap. The more we chase it, the more distant we feel from it. This phenomenon is not only cultural, but also psychological. Studies show that the relentless pursuit of happiness can lead to anxiety, depression, and a feeling of failure. After all, if everyone seems to be living a perfect life, why can't I? The modern obsession with happiness transforms moments of difficulty, so natural to life, into existential crises. We are encouraged to numb pain, avoid conflict, and ignore challenges, all in the name of an illusory idea of constant well-being. Nietzsche saw this long before it became a global problem. For him, happiness is not a state of comfort or absence of suffering. On the contrary, it is in moments of overcoming, when we face chaos and emerge stronger, that we experience what he would call true joy. He believed that life should not be lived in search of easy pleasures, but of experiences that transform us. However, modern society has moved away from this idea. We avoid discomfort, ignore resistance, and turn the search for happiness into a race without a finish line. The result? A generation that feels that something essential is missing, but cannot identify what it is. Nietzsche invites us to question, what if we are looking in the wrong direction? When Nietzsche talks about power, he is not referring to the kind of control that corrupts politicians or fuels corporate greed. For him, power has nothing to do with domination over others. It is about something much deeper and more intimate. The ability to transcend oneself, to transform weaknesses into strengths, and to face life with courage. This kind of power starts internally. Think about times when you overcame a seemingly insurmountable challenge. It could have been a fear you faced, a difficult goal you achieved, or even the ability to get back up after a big fall. The satisfaction you felt did not come from the absence of effort, but from directly facing the difficulty. For Nietzsche, this is power, the growth that occurs when we resist the easy and embrace the difficult. But why is this concept so important? why we live in a world that values shortcuts. We want miracle diets, meteoric careers, and instant solutions to complex problems. However, true power takes time, effort, and often pain. Nietzsche believed that resisting suffering is resisting power. He saw discomfort as a catalyst, something that pushes us to evolve if we have the courage to face it. This kind of power frees us from a victim mentality. Instead of blaming the world or circumstances, we start to see ourselves as agents of our own transformation. Life stops being something that happens to us and becomes something we actively create. And here's the paradox. The more we embrace this vision of power, the more we find that happiness that seems so unattainable. Not because we seek it, but because it appears as a side effect of our growth. Modern society makes a continuous effort to avoid suffering at all costs. We are surrounded by medicines, therapies, and solutions that promise to free us from pain and discomfort. However, Nietzsche proposes a radically different vision. What if suffering were, in fact, an essential component of life that we should embrace? For Nietzsche, suffering is not just an inevitability, but a powerful tool for transformation. He argued that pain teaches us lessons that ease can never offer. When facing challenges and adversity, we are forced to develop resilience, strength, and self-knowledge. What we often call suffering is actually an opportunity in disguise to grow. This does not mean that we should seek suffering for its own sake, but rather recognize its intrinsic value. Think about moments of crisis in your life. They are often catalysts for significant change. When we face pain, we can reevaluate our priorities, adjust our goals, and even rediscover ourselves. Nietzsche believed that overcoming suffering brings us closer to our true selves, allowing us to access a depth of power and fulfillment that would not be possible without these tests. In this sense, suffering is a kind of furnace that purifies the spirit, molding us into more complete individuals. When we accept this perspective, we change the way we view difficulties. Instead of seeing ourselves as victims of circumstances, we become protagonists of our story, capable of transforming pain into strength. This transformation is the true power that Nietzsche advocated, and it is through it that we find happiness as a byproduct of our achievements. The idea of overcoming is a recurring theme in Nietzsche's philosophy, and it is deeply intertwined with his vision of power and the meaning of life. For Nietzsche, true greatness is not a matter of social status or material wealth, but rather the ability to rise above personal and collective limitations. This process of overcoming is, in essence, what defines us as human beings. In each of us, there is untapped potential, a strength that waits for the right moment to manifest. Every challenge faced, every failure, and every pain we endure are steps towards that potential. Nietzsche believed that the path to greatness is full of obstacles, but it is precisely this journey that transforms us. Each step we take towards overcoming not only strengthens us, but also teaches us the resilience and adaptability necessary to face future challenges. This concept resonates in different areas of life. Think about great historical figures who went through significant trials before achieving success. Steve Jobs, for example, was fired from the company he founded before returning and transforming Apple into one of the largest technology empires in the world. His story is a testament to the idea that overcoming adversity can lead to ultimate achievement. Furthermore, overcoming is closely linked to self-efficacy, the belief that we are capable of achieving our goals. When we manage to overcome an obstacle, even if small, we create a positive cycle that fuels our confidence and motivation. This leads us to seek new challenges and thus expand our potential. By adopting this perspective, we change our understanding of what it means to live a meaningful life. Instead of seeking happiness as an ultimate goal, we start to see overcoming as the true purpose of our existence. And so, as we become adept at this cycle of growth, happiness naturally arises as a result of our own greatness. Setting goals is an essential component on the path to power and overcoming, and Nietzsche emphasizes the importance of these goals being meaningful and authentic. We are often influenced by external expectations, what society expects of us, what our parents want us to be, or even what social media seems to demand. However, true strength comes from goals that resonate with our deepest essence. When setting meaningful goals, we must ask ourselves, what do we really want to achieve? What are the aspirations that move and inspire us? These questions are not just superficial reflections, but rather an invitation to explore our deepest motivations and desires. When we set goals that reflect our values and passions, we find a purpose that drives us to act. A practical example is the difference between "I want to be rich" and "I want to create a positive impact on people's lives." The first goal may seem attractive at first, but the second is rooted in a greater purpose, which makes it more powerful and motivating. Meaningful goals tied to our true selves inspire us to work towards something that transcends mere material desire. Additionally, the dynamic nature of goals is critical. They should not be fixed, but rather evolutionary, adapting as we grow and develop. This cycle of review and adjustment not only keeps our goals relevant, but also challenges us to step out of our comfort zone, promoting continued growth. When we adopt this approach, each step toward our goals becomes an opportunity to practice self-improvement and strengthen our inner power, creating a virtuous cycle that leads to a fuller, more meaningful life. Self-improvement is not a one-off goal, but an ongoing cycle that shapes our life journey. This cycle, fundamental in Nietzsche's philosophy, teaches us that each achievement is a step towards the next challenge. Life is a battlefield full of disguised opportunities, and each victory we achieve equips us with the tools necessary to face what lies ahead. Therefore, instead of seeing success as an end in itself, we must understand it as part of a dynamic and constantly evolving process. In this cycle, reflection plays a crucial role. After each achievement, it is essential to stop and analyze what was learned and how this experience can be applied in the future. Ask yourself, how has this victory changed me? What skills have I developed? What obstacles do I still need to overcome? This self-analysis not only helps us internalize learning, but also chart new paths for growth. For example, an athlete who wins a competition may celebrate the victory, but it is the reflection on their training routine, nutrition, and mindset that prepares them for the next tournament. The true champion does not rest on success. He constantly seeks new limits to reach. This growth mindset is what sets great directors apart from the rest. Furthermore, the cycle of self-overcoming is driven by the notion that each challenge brings with it the opportunity to reinvent oneself. This idea is in harmony with Nietzsche's concept of eternal recurrence, which invites us to imagine how we would live if we had to repeat our choices eternally. This thought is not a condemnation, but a liberation. He encourages us to make bold choices and seek out experiences that make us feel alive and fulfilled. Therefore, by cultivating the mindset that each step is a preparation for the next, we find constant purpose in our quest for power and fulfillment. This uninterrupted cycle of overcoming leads us not only to a sense of personal fulfillment, but also to the true greatness that Nietzsche so extolled. For Nietzsche, suffering is not just an unwanted experience to be avoided, but an essential and inevitable component of life. This vision may seem bleak at first glance, but it proves to be deeply liberating when we explore its true meaning. Suffering is a catalyst that drives us to seek power, transformation, and ultimately, meaning. When we face challenges and pain, we are forced to confront our weaknesses, beliefs, and limitations. It is in this confrontation that we find opportunities for growth. Imagine an artist who faces constant rejection. The pain of criticism can turn into motivation to improve your work. Each blow you receive becomes a tool to sculpt a stronger version of yourself. Thus, suffering becomes a teacher who teaches us valuable lessons about resilience, creativity, and self-knowledge. Furthermore, suffering has the ability to bring people together. Difficult experiences often generate empathy and understanding. When we share our struggles, we create deeper, more meaningful bonds with others. This connection not only enriches our lives, but also helps us realize that we are not alone in our battles. Suffering, therefore, is not just an individual experience, but a bridge that connects us to a broader community. On the other hand, by accepting suffering as an integral part of life, we can demystify the incessant search for happiness. Contemporary society often promotes the idea that happiness should be a constant state, and that pain is a sign of failure. However, this mindset prevents us from embracing the complexity of the human experience. Instead of avoiding suffering, we must learn to dance with it, recognizing that each tear shed carries with it a seed of potential. Nietzsche invites us to embrace our suffering as a sign of our humanity. When we accept pain, we not only become stronger, but also more whole. Power emerges not from the absence of pain, but from the ability to overcome it and use it as fuel in our quest for greatness. Ultimately, by transforming suffering into a springboard for growth, we find a new sense of purpose and the true essence of life. The connection between power and happiness is one of the most intriguing in Nietzsche's philosophy. In a world that often associates happiness with comfort and the absence of pain, Nietzsche proposes a radically different perspective. True happiness arises not from the search for it in itself, but from the power we manage to cultivate through our struggles and achievements. This paradox defies conventional wisdom. Instead of seeking happiness as an ultimate goal, Nietzsche suggests that we should focus on strengthening our will and developing our potential. Happiness then becomes a natural side effect of this journey. When we dedicate ourselves to personal overcoming, joy comes from the experiences we have had, the victories achieved, and the continuous growth. It's as if each challenge overcome lights our path, bringing a shine that we often don't notice while we are busy seeking a state of satisfaction. So many wonder, how then can we cultivate this power? The first step is to redefine our relationship with suffering and difficulties. By viewing challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, we shift our focus to action and self-overcoming. This mindset turns pain into an ally, which guides us toward deeper development and a sense of accomplishment. Therefore, true happiness does not lie in the direct search for it, but in the journey of empowerment we undertake. As we become stronger, more resilient, and more authentic, we discover that happiness is not a destination, but a companion that accompanies us when we are immersed in our true purpose. Thus, by embracing the paradox between power and happiness, we find a richer and more meaningful life. The connection between power and happiness is one of the most intriguing in Nietzsche's philosophy. In a world that often associates happiness with comfort and the absence of pain, Nietzsche proposes a radically different perspective. True happiness is not the pursuit of it in ourselves, but the power we manage to cultivate through our strokes and achievements. This paradox defies conventional wisdom. Instead of seeking happiness as an ultimate goal, Nietzsche suggests that we should focus on strengthening our will and developing our potential. Happiness then becomes a natural side effect of this journey. When we dedicate ourselves to personal overcoming, joy comes from the experiences we have had, the victories achieved, and the continuous growth. It's as if each challenge lights our way, bringing a glow that we often don't notice while we're busy seeking a state of satisfaction. So many may wonder, how then can we cultivate this power? The first step is to redefine our relationship with suffering and difficulties. By viewing challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, we shift our focus to action and self-overcoming. This mindset turns pain into an ally, which guides us toward deeper development and a sense of accomplishment. Therefore, true happiness does not lie in the direct search for it, but in the journey of empowerment we undertake. As we become stronger, more resilient, and more authentic, we discover that happiness is not a destination, but a companion that accompanies us when we are immersed in our true purpose. Thus, by embracing the paradox between power and happiness, we find a richer and more meaningful life.
Are you crying? Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in foosball.
You fucking cried after 3 days in the fucking holding tank. Looked like a fucking pile of wet rags at court. You should see how I showed up to court after 3 days in the box with the light on.
Please, is there anything I can do, sir? Please.
Does he look like a bitch? What?
Don't do this to my wife, man. You don't know what you're doing to my family, man.
Does he look like a bitch?
Sir, please don't make me sleep in jail tonight, sir, please. I'm begging. We're not criminals. They're gonna make me sleep in jail.
Continue. You were saying something about best intentions?
Josh has never been arrested for recording.
Okay, so that's him getting arrested, and then his friend here makes a phone call that I want to touch on.
these folks run in the opposite direction from me or get completely freaked out and triggered, and then try to project onto me because they know I can see. I always knew. I just had to get it on record for everybody else. You don't think I can look at these people and see them move? Come on now. There's no escaping even what we are and what we know about ourselves, what we think other people know or don't know about us. I can see the move. I'm pretty astute. I'm pretty intuitive. I know me. I know life. You will come here regularly, get entertained by me. I will change your life in some way with this perspective. And we have an asylum around back for those who can't get it together. I knew what I was going to meet and face. I knew what I was going to potentially have to give up to get back, like the scripture outlines. And I'm doing it for the right reasons, because I really do believe in this understanding and these synchronicities and these co-creative connections and gaining an understanding through experience that changes one's life and trajectory. To me, that's like all that we have here. That's all I have here. You know, the rest is extras. The art of living, it's the spiritual faith, it's the principles and values. The rest is extras. You're going to get the real here, you're going to get the truth here, you're going to get inspiration and empowerment to do the next right thing, or you ain't going to be here for long. And I like it that way. I'm tightening my shit up. You know, I got people in my life who I respect, who respect me, who we have a valuable, empowering thing going on, and we're going to take it to the next level. It's all that more. It's God. You really want to get down to it? You want to get down to the experience? Because I'm talking about an experience. I'm not talking about some guy in the sky. You could call that arrogant. You could call that prideful and all the rest. But no, I recognize my position. I'm not a man of the majority of these people at this point, based on how I'm living, what I'm doing, and what I'm not doing. I'm a man for the people. I'm a man that these slaves can look to, like Maximus in the arena, and say, you know what, Paulie boy's on to something there. We feel in us what we see in him. We know we're one and the same. We're going to do something different about our life. That's all this is. So it's just kind of confusing to me. All the folks with all the money, the big money, you know, the big condos and houses. You know, the ones who like to plan all the trips and fly on the planes and have all the extras, why they don't focus on the main thing. So one does not supplant, sublimate, or substitute the other. 2025 saying is money can't unlame you, money can't unslave you. Okay? And I don't think anybody can deny that. I just freed you up, man. Go live that empowering, inspiring life that you love so much. Don't let me hold you back. Kind of threw me off there, Gorilla Gems. All right, Gorilla Gems is working. He's in the workshop regularly. Oh, that kid don't stop working. And we don't either if working is sitting on our ass and yapping, right? There's rappers and there's yappers. I could do a little bit of both, I guess. Slaves are striking the channel because I did music earlier and I put up a title that said Paul Unslaved, in quotes. Paul Unslaved is a white N-I **ER. And it appears somebody struck the channel for cyberbullying and hate because they're actually the ones hating. Someone's in their feels, someone's hating, someone's jealous and envious, someone's upset that I did 10,000 views last night. And Taylor and others were trying to suck off me and use me. And, you know, the demons are out. The demons are afoot. I mean, we had a good run. You know, we had about a year and a half run. This used to be a regular thing every 2 weeks. You know, every week, every 2 weeks, it was a strike. It was, I got to contact live support. I got to send a notice to the legal team. So I did 15, 20 minutes before this contacting. We'll see where that goes. And hey, just keep doing it because we're going to put you on record for who and what you are. You're going to get your IP find out. They're going to know you're not credible. That's why I've had about a year and a half good run, is because I just started letting the legal team know, hey, listen, from now on, when I get a strike, you don't put anything through till you figure out who's doing it. And is it credible or not? Because you got a list of a pack of loser failures that I had to like name to them of who would be doing this. And I even had to show them that they admitted to it. So it just made it kind of hard to like bullshit me, right? I'm pretty good at that, making it hard to bullshit me. So I tell them, listen, I get you guys have a system here. It's flawed because you guys don't check into who's sending these things. And if you look at who's doing it, you can find out they're not doing it because there's a violation of policy. They're doing it because they're jealous, envious, loser, failure haters who want what I have. And if they can't have it, they want to destroy it. right? That's such as the dynamics of power and value, right? So that lets me know, once again, I'm onto something. I must be powerful. I must be valuable, because the demons can't fucking stop clicking buttons to try to have me interfered with, because they got no other move. And even that move is kind of old. It's washed up. It's tired out, right? You guys are pulling out the rusty nails. You guys are opening the empty pockets. And it doesn't amount to anything. I still got that one channel with 20,000 subscribers. It don't hit the algorithm, but I'll go over there for a week if I have to. I still got the backup channel at Willing Few, or at Will Few. The channel is called At the Willing Few. We haven't had to use it in over a year and a half. There's only 500 people over there, whatever it is. So listen, if I have to, I'll start over. If I have to, I'll populate another channel. If I have to, I'll take a core audience with me. If I have to, I'll jump into the algorithm and come from the hip with it again. I will always do and be and have better than some of you, because of what you choose to put your time, energy, and attention on, and how you show up for yourself and others in life. Hello. It's not a me problem, right? When you want to get ready to go to the next level, daddy loves you. I'm here for you, right? Stop the hating. Stop the watching and waiting. Let's make something happen. Check your fucking ego and your pride and your feelers, and let's work. Whatever that means. If you can't do that, you're not going to be successful in anything you do, and you're not going to interfere with my success. I could take this show on the road at this point, whatever that means. I could do 15, 20 minutes on stage if I have to. I'll take this to a live audience where you punk ass cowards will have to show up in the actual room and try the shit that you try online. And I bet you ain't going to do that. Right? So shit, I might do that anyway at some point, just to liven things up and test me and challenge me and take my shit to the next level, right? I'll go do comedy like Brian O'Shea. I'll show up 2-3 times a week on an actual stage. I'll put a bit together, 15, 20 minutes if I can get it done. And I'll do some crowd work in between to hone my skills and abilities and to try out something new and have a new experience. The majority of you bitch ass motherfuckers can't do that because you can't think on your feet. You're not really great with the tongue in the bedroom or out. We can go there if you want. You're boring as all get out, and you have no balls. Let's just call it what it is, right? So even if you had something going or had some potential, you ain't got the balls to get up on stage or in front of X amount of people and make something happen. You're too uncomfortable in your own skin. And I get it till I don't get it, So I'm just going to leave that there. We're going to pretty much hit the docket. We're going to get in and get out today. I don't want to do too much talking just because I'm feeling somewhat better. I want to continue kind of taking it a bit easy, right? We're over 1,000 days straight here, something like that. I know I say that. That's the tagline. It may not be officially that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty sure we're over 2.5 years, which is pretty much what that would be. No. It's going to be, pretty much 3 years. A little under 3 years, I'm thinking, if my math is correct. God help me. So, yeah. Every so often, daddy has to take a week or so and kind of play the background, or, maybe even longer, just to kind of refocus and recenter, continue my healing journey and process. Because you see what happens, right? It's like the moment I start feeling better, the moment I start rapping, the numbers go up, the parasites come out, the Taylors and the Tommies and the Snappies and the Jackie boys and all the rest of the same ilk got to pop out of the woodwork like the termite scum that they are, and try to suck off me and use me, and if not, project onto me, and then start striking channels. And it's just the same old fucking shit year in and year out, by the same old types of people doing the same type of shit for obvious reasons. So yeah, it's like you get in these loops and you see the loop for what it is, and then at some point you break the loop and go, you know what? Do whatever you're going to do. You're not going to get me upset or animated about it. I have trust, equity, and faith on my side. I'm on the right side of history. I have a whole bunch of opportunity. And I have no reason to get worried. That's for you to do. I'll let you folks do that while you watch waiting and hating, right? I'll just move and shake and turn and twist and juke and come out of it better like I always do, right? That's just the nature of how my life seems to be. That's the path that I walk. For better or worse. How'd you continue broadcasting when you were in jail? Well, I was broadcasting from inside of the cell, right? It was all metal. I'm in the field, right? I'm in the quantum field. So whether or not you got it on YouTube or not doesn't mean that I wasn't broadcasting. But I get it because you're one of the losers on a alternate account and you want to try to get a gotcha on me with everything I say. So you're right. Let's be completely factual and technical so you can be right and you can prove something about me. I haven't done over 1,000 days straight because I went to jail for 2 or 3 days at a time with Jennifer. So I couldn't technically broadcast on YouTube when I was in jail. That person's right. And he's totally not a watcher, waiter, hater who's jealous and envious. He just wants to make sure we're all factual here and that it's about the truth of the record. Give me a break. Okay. One of these days, we know who you are. You're only one of 10, 15, 20 people. Need to get a fucking life, loser. And stop sitting around for the next thing I'm going to say that you could try to pick apart when I already said, technically, it's not 1,000 days straight. That's the tagline, right? It sounds good. It feels good. And predominantly, it's true. And I would have done 1,000 days straight if I didn't have to go to a box for rights and freedoms and to uphold the law and give your bitch ass some content for 2.5 days, right? So I guess you get to say that the 1,000 days straight was broken, that it never happened. I can't use that tagline anymore. Because if I do, it's me being dishonest. Yeah, we're going to get a life at some point. You're going to stop watching, waiting, and hating. You're going to stop being a jealous, envious loser. And you're going to realize what's going on here. Does it really matter? Does it really fucking matter? It's something I set for myself. It's something that motivates me and inspires me and others, right? They like my consistency. While the rest of you loser, failure, lazy, procrastinating, can't even roll out of bed to your living room to do a broadcast every day, slaves, can't get it done. These folks are inspired by my consistency. So barring the 2 days, I got to buy for that. Give me a buy for that. So technically, hold on. I'm getting the word now. Getting the word from the Nielsen ratings from the audience. They say I can continue to say 1,000 days straight because I get a mulligan. I get a buy for the 2 days that I was in a box because that wasn't within my control. All right. So technically not true based on the branding and the tagline and my consistency and how I show up for myself and others and what would have happened if an unforeseen event or a foreseen event didn't happen. We get credit for that. It's okay. They're now telling me it's okay. Oh, wait, I can do and say whatever I want because who and what I am is on record and the facts stand for themselves. And the rest of this is extra. There's a little bit of performance art. There's a bit of theatrics at times. A little bit. Just enough to lubricate the wheels and keep you watcher, waiter, follower, haters engaged. Right? Life is good. I feel good. Loser failures are always hating on me. I need a background on that, Aaron. Can we change some of the words sometimes? Is that allowed? What? Hold on, I'm getting that. Okay, we can. We can change the words for the life is good thing. Okay, because it's kind of corny and annoying anyway. All right, right. Okay, got it. So I just got word on that too. I'm having my way here today. Whatever I want to do, huh? I can change the words on life is good. They're saying. I didn't show up like a pile of wet rags at court either. That's right. I didn't. That's right. Yeah. See, I was still broadcasting in spirit. I was casting abroad that spiritual, energetic beingness in the quantum field. Right. Let's see. All right, not too much. Not too much. I'd like to guess who this is. I'd like to guess who 420 is if I didn't know. Want to play a game? Want to play a game on who this is on an alternate account? Anyone? No, they don't have the balls to admit who it is. They're not gonna. Even if we guess it, they're not gonna confirm that's who it is. They're on their hidden secret account. We're going to go to our secret hidden account so we can lose, fail, and hate. No one will know it's us. We can mitigate some of the embarrassment. No, you still got to be you. The alternate account online doesn't change the fact you're still who and what you are beyond that account, by the way. That's how life works. Trying to help out. All right, let's go to no, it's not Wizard, I don't believe. I'll let you folks guess, but it's not. I don't believe that it's Wizard. Not that one. Could be wrong. You never know. Never know. I had to guess, we'll have to look at it again. I don't know. No, I don't believe it's slow state. If I had to guess, a slave foo or a Rob G like type of creature, you know, one of those type of miscreant creatures. All right, let's go to the docket, and I'm going to get the hell out of here. Let's see. Oh, 2 charges for sheriff after my video. Lackluster.
The sheriff threatened him before busting his lip.
Dude,
I'm not doing it.
we have worked on you have not.
That's assault,
That's
big
fine.
boy.
Is that a threat?
I got it on video,
We
big girl.
Dan, it's me and him.
Said back down.
So I'm gonna get you another way, buddy.
Having run this channel for many years, there's one thing I know you guys like more than anything. Updates. And today, we have a pretty good one. In August of 2024, after working on a story for months, I broke the story of Sheriff Tracy White out of Lewisburg, Kentucky, after he threatened a viewer named Adam by showing up at his house at 9:30 at night, appearing to be completely wasted. Adam used to head down to the river to play his banjo, and on one occasion, he was hassled by a group of teenagers.
Weatherford says he chased off some boys on dirt bikes, causing problems at a creek after he says the boys threatened to run over his dog back in February.
While he filmed that portion of the interaction, he really thought nothing of it, until Tracy White ended up on his door at 9:30 at night.
Can I help you?
Well, apparently you've been up at Sharon Grove today. I don't know what went on, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna bother my kids anymore, and I've told them not to come by your house anymore. You understand me? Now, you've been down there, you've hit one of my nephew's friends.
If I would have hit somebody, I'd have done been in jail, big
No,
boy.
well, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna get worse than that if you ever do it again.
You don't even know if I did or not. You
Yes,
don't even know
because they got it on
You-
video.
they got it
I'm
on
gonna tell
video?
you, buddy.
They got it on video. Listen
I'm gonna
at
tell
it.
you right now. No, I'm not gonna calm down.
Adam notices a woman off to the side of the driveway, hiding in the shadows, filming.
But I'm gonna tell you right now.
I don't know.
Who is
That's
Who
my.
is it?
That she's videoing this. Whatever.
Okay.
Don't you ever come up there to the flats again.
Next, the drunk sheriff claims that he ran Adam through law enforcement records and found evidence of a sordid past. However, it's apparent that the sheriff ran the wrong name and is attributing someone else's record to Adam.
I got your record. I know you're a damn meth head.
He is not.
Oh,
You
yeah,
That's
hear
slow
on
state.
damn probation.
That's the wrong name. That's
He
slow
has
state.
been.
Are you still a sheriff? Are you sheriff, big?
Exactly. I'm
okay.
done
Judge him
with
for
your
his
ass
past.
coming up there and threatening my kid.
Hey, for the record, I've not threatened anybody.
Oh, yes, they
I've
got
not
your
run
ass
anybody.
on video. You better sit your ass right down right now.
He's not laying his hand on anybody.
No, he is rammed with that truck my son has got on video. He's
He ain't got
hitting
no video.
them with his damn his truck.
This is just running your supposed corporate country.
No, because I'm going to get your ass another way, buddy. And you can
Retaliatory
record
stop.
it. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do.
Oh, man.
Tracy White approaches Adam at his doorway, knocking the camera out of his hands and hitting him in the face. Adam quickly
This is they're
separates
all
himself
paying to
from
keep
the
it
drunk
safe.
and starts recording again.
Finger out my face, buddy.
He's not laid a hand on
I'm not
No,
touching
he's
nobody.
rammed them with that fucking truck right there.
Listen,
Yes, he is. You want to see
Shut
the
up.
fucking video?
Shut up.
She don't even know. I don't even know who this motherfucker
If
is.
he ever rams my truck again, it's me and him.
Said back down. Listen to me.
He ain't got no
Ma'am.
video. He ain't got shit. He ain't got shit.
I'm telling you right
Ma'am,
now,
Okay.
the son of a bitch better not ever fucking hit my
Ma'am,
kid
there is
again.
a reason we are here.
Hey,
That's the reason why It we're is-
You better
Hey,
keep your
okay.
ass parked right here in this goddamn
I'm
driveway.
a grown ass man. I can do whatever I want to do. I can drive what I want to.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, sir.
But when you hit my kids. It's me and you.
Sure,
Did
buddy.
we have video?
I ain't hit nothing.
You ain't got the balls of a fucking Benny Rooster, motherfucker.
Children have asked
And you're supposed to be
You
professional.
know yourself by looking at me
So,
right now that he has a past.
don't listen to that
He
fool.
has a record. He is known for the things
Yeah,
that he has
you got a
done.
record because I done
Okay.
fucking run your ass.
You know that.
Retaliatory stop. Say,
I know how long y'all been.
lawyers gonna have a fun. See?
And you exactly, honey. How long?
Who is this toadstool anyway?
Mind your business. We ain't talking.
Well, get out of here. Get off my property.
Okay.
Get off my property. Get off my property. Get off my property. Get off my property. Get off my
I'm
property.
talking to you mother to mother to keep the peace. Okay.
Come on with it.
We're telling you right now before the video proof goes to court.
God,
Put
yes.
the kibosh on this.
Please.
These are minors.
Please.
He is a grown man, correct? As you stated, they are minors.
Right.
Put the
Untouchable.
kibosh
That's
on
what
it,
I told him.
Or
Yep.
we will go to court and he will not win because we have proof. Do you
We're
Going down
understand
there
that?
at the bridge
We're already going. We're already going. We're already going.
At the flat,
Listen
and
to these
smoking
people.
every
weed,
day.
they
See?
smell it.
Ask you
I
for
thought
a
they would
damn
have-
If he
piss
wants to
test.
smoke pot, that's fine.
I thought they would
because
have
You
a-
for a
country,
piss test.
let
I
him
thought
do
they would
it on
have
his
a.
front
I
porch.
thought they would have a little
Okay?
sense. Listen,
See,
just
I do have
teenage
sense.
boys.
Ask
I'm
you for
telling
a
you,
piss test.
Sir,
See how they act?
For
I-
me.
Are you
Really?
believing it?
my piss test
They don't even. I mean,
do
I've
you
not done
want
it.
my
Has it been
piss
charged?
test
This
This
compared
is
to
literally like,
yours?
this is what it's become on America in what you all call United States of America, which is, as we know here, we've learned a corporation based on their definitions, not my sops at mumbo jumbo. But this is what you go to work for 60 to 90 hours a week to come home and to live around a bunch of swine like this from coast to coast. I don't know, maybe other folks' experience is different, but if they wonder why at times I'm a little bitter, right? Sometimes I'm less than like nice, kind, and polite. It's because I'm out in the world. You know, I travel around. I've made a fair bit of coverage of this land, if not publicly, privately, and I see it. Right, this is what it's like to live in the average suburban or even semi-rural neighborhood at this time, just surrounded by Kens and Karens, half of which have some administrative job somewhere where they wear a costume and they think they're above the law, but they are the law, right? And they're going to use their cameras and complaints and be drunk and on pharmaceuticals and just run amok on this place, Babylon style. Right? You know, it's basically like they open the doors of the WWE Federation and then let everyone in there become a real person and impregnate other people. Like, you basically have a bunch of World Wrestling Federation characters running around pretending to be this, that, and the third, and just acting. This is not like an isolated incident and event. This is every other video on social media of supposed normal people. Just and they wonder why I'm not that hopeful. You know, and that 4 or 5 years ago, they said, Polly boy, you're so negative and bitter and resentful. You're so projecting your own shitty life and upbringing onto other people. And I'm like, I'm not actually. I'm correlating, if anything. And then the last 4 years just conclusively proved that the majority of folks are pigged out, they're duped out, they're slaved out, and they're going to like act a fool and run amok and go full Babylon and call it something else. This guy's a sheriff, you know, the doctors, the sheriffs, the teachers. Like, yeah, give me a break. Where are we at here?
Hey, look.
Yes, he has.
You can't talk to these.
You're talking an awful lot for somebody
can't,
that's innocent.
You can't talk. You can't talk to these people. Yeah, you're
Man.
done. You are done.
Oh,
That
yeah.
might be fact.
That's assault,
That's
big
fine.
boy.
Oh,
I
good
ain't
for
touched
you. Is
your
that a threat? Is
Yeah.
that a threat?
It is.
Because
It ain't
I
a
got
threat
it
now.
right
This
here.
is
I
what
got it on
philosophers
video, big
described
girl.
as the last
Okay,
man
good.
and
Hey,
woman,
you
right?
can't
This is
talk
the
to these
last
people. I've done been in
underground
jail.
man and woman, pure
I've done been in
eternity.
jail.
Everybody's been in jail.
I'd have done.
Sir.
Is that what I said?
Okay,
I'd have done been in jail.
You ran
we
one of
have
my
worked in
sons
law
again.
enforcement. You have not.
And you
Get off my property.
Other side
Get
of
off
law.
my property.
Make sure you got this. Make sure. Wait a minute.
Make sure you
Get
got
off my
everything
property.
I
Right?
have.
You
Get
got
off
Make
my
sure.
property. Get off my
Because we're gonna
property.
You
compare.
hit one of my kids.
Get
again
off my
on
property.
that 4-wheeler.
You believe this?
Sir,
Get off
You
my
got-
property.
let's compare.
Get off of my
Because I've
property.
got everything right here.
Get off. Good.
You have.
I'm gonna for you it too.
Cool.
No,
Oh, hold on. We got to do one of my favorite things. Whether I even like it or not, it's my favorite thing because it's good content to me. I'm not quite sure if it always is for the people, but to me it is. And I believe I have some kind of vision for broadcasting. Rick Wayne, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to be very sweet, by the way. Hold on, let me take this down for a second. See my headline. No, I don't have it on today. Normally I have different headlines, but yesterday's headline down there under the name was the most loving man on YouTube, because I'm just so nice and kind and polite and sweet. You can't believe it. If like you'd have seen me before, if you'd have known the past me, like how I used to be, brothers and sisters, like I'm not like that anymore. I've completely fixed myself and changed myself out of love. So, but like before, right, Rick Wayne, if you'd have came here before, I'd have called you like something crazy, like some kind of punk ass, bitch ass, cowardly, hoed out slave, some shit like that. You know, I wouldn't do that now. Well, not right now, at least. You're on Grindr. Well, I guess I am now, according to you. What's the profile say? I'm curious. I don't know. Maybe I had an off day one day and I said, hey, this thing with women's not working out. Maybe if I like do something radical here, I might have a shot with this whole relationship thing. So I don't remember that, but anything's possible. I do have a checkered past, not only with the restaurant Checkers on Long Island. It's a fast food restaurant, but like drugs, you know, just bad choices. So I might have made a bad choice one night when I thought, hey, this women thing's not working out. They don't seem to understand me. And I just took out a Grindr profile. You never know. But go ahead and read it to me, because I'll know. I'll know if it's me. Like if it says something about slaves in there and fascism and you know, stuff I was saying before, broken hose, yada yada, then it might be me. I don't know. But Rick, can I help you out? Back to Rick. Okay. Enough about you, Emmett. No one cares. Rick is who we're talking to. Ricky Wayne. This guy's smart, talks the talk. The phrase is walk the talk, which you guys aren't used to. So simple mistake. I get it. Like it can happen. You guys are used to people talking the talk and forgot the phrase was walk the talk, because you got to live your truth, right? Like Trump's the guy who talks the talk but doesn't walk it, you know. So I'm going to help you out here. I'm not a MAGA guy. I'm not an anything like that guy, because I'm not duped out. I understand, like I just said earlier. See, this is what live does. Live, we're already looping anyway, as we know. The eternal recurrence, as some have called it, like the intro. I just call it looping. But this is a hyper loop, because I just said 5 or 10 minutes ago something, and then you weren't there, and then you came in, and then it's like, because of what you say, then I have to repeat it. Like, and it's for the 1,000th time. So for the 1,000th time, not a MAGA person. The United States is a corporation. United States of America, I guess, would be the government if there was anybody occupying that status and standing, which they're not. They're all on a payroll. They're all paid and bonded and insured. They're agents of a state of, which, as we know by their definition, the code is a corporation, corporate entity. So, yeah. That's where we get the idea of fascism. That's what fascism is. That's what corporatism is. When you got corporations and corporate swine who move in on the land and just do a corporate takeover from the inside out. And next thing you know, you, according to you and the rest of everyone, don't understand the difference between legal and lawful. Think policy, statute, and code for corporations and corporate bodies is law, right? And you start literally paying a third of everything that you create because you call yourself a withholding agent, which is a fellow trustee of a corporation. Agent. We're all right in the words. If we could get past the Dunning-Kruger effect, you know, so many institutionalized college-dwelling troglodyte slaves can't get past that idea that you think you're smart and you think you know how shit works, but you've not done the deep dive and you have no experience outside the box you were born in to verify or to invalidate. I do. Check, check, check. So, yeah, you're duped and deluded. You're deceived. The whole world is in the hands of the dark one. The scripture says it's applicable. It's apropos. You folks are an example of it, because one side of the majority thinks that Kamala is going to be their mama. The other side thinks that Donnie's going to be their daddy. And they still haven't figured out, after 240 something years, we're about to approach the 250-year mark, which is the average for an empire to fall, which is also prophesied that we will be taken over by traitors from within. And that's exactly what's happening. So this isn't coincidence. This isn't randomness. This is coinciding with the fall of man in consciousness and awareness and a complete manifestation of a deception archetype known as Shaitan from the beginning of time. Satan, as you would know it. Saturnalian order, as you would know it. It all correlates, right? So they're literally running your whole inner space and outer space because you can't see what's actually happening and don't know yourself or the dynamics, and you're not choosing to do anything other than manifest what's already been happening. So for 240 something years, 2,500 years, governments, aka corporations, have moved in on the people on the land, made a whole list of words and terms, got you to start repeating it, and give all your property and your power and your choice and your freedom and your rights and your God away. That's what the fallen nature of man is when it's in the world and of it, rather than going with God and God's law that is indwelling, by the way. They've forgotten that. They've lost touch with that. They've lost sight of that because culture is just too exciting and entertaining and engaging and fun. Oh, and it keeps you safe too, don't you know? As it's boosting you the fuck out to oblivion. As it's putting wires in your head because Elon's your magatard hero. Come on, guys. Guys, it's getting pretty bad. It's getting embarrassing. You got like actual drug addicts and whoremongers who, because they put a suit on and have $1 billion, you act like they're credible. And, as long as they say, hey, everyone's autistic, don't make fun of them. No one notices. As long as they say, hey, we're godly evangelical Christians and Catholics and Republicards and all the rest, but we're going to put wires in your brain and we're going to use this technology to map out the whole world. And we're going to try to use other technology to interfere with who and what you are. And overwrite the supernatural program. These are fallen angels archetypally, right? You folks just can't stop paying them. You can't stop sucking their feet. You can't stop acting like they're going to be your heroes. And that's why they mock you. And that's why they love deceiving you. And actually, it's getting kind of boring for them, right? The dark side of me understands the dark side of them. It's getting kind of boring for them because you guys are so fucking credulous, so easily duped out, so willing to believe anything. They're wondering what the fuck you won't believe and accept. And this little game that everyone's playing out of, let's see how much we can dupe and blaspheme and mock and humiliate the slaves to supposedly come to enlightenment at some point, because that's how you get aware of what's going on, is you get mocked and humiliated and abused enough to realize, you know what, I'm done. I'm out. Or you get Stockholm syndromed out so hard you can't tell which way is up and down, right? So they're getting to the point where you're boring them so much because you're just doing what you've always done for so long that the next layer is just like a convict. This is criminal psychology, by the way. If you take a convict, right, who's a hardened psychopathic, sociopathic criminal, and you give him a bitch boy, first he's going to get off on kind of the courting process and getting them under the spell and tricking them out, turning them out, right? Getting a finger in, 2 fingers and 3 fingers until they're getting fucked. Right. And then it's going to get to a point where they get turned out so hard and so often that it just starts to become boring. And when you can't suck any more time, energy, and attention or resource from the being because they're completely soul broken and weak and disempowered, well, at some point you just slit their throat and move on to the next one. See? And this is exactly what's happening to these groups of people, these lands that we once called common law lands. They're so fucking soul sucked and soul broken. They've had their pockets turned out. They've had their rectum turned out. They've not put up any fight or pushback to the point where the psychopaths and sociopaths are just bored out of their minds. And the only thing conceivable left in their distorted level of common sense to do is just, when they're done slaving you and having their way with you completely, is to just fucking exterminate you and move on to the next ones because you're boring them. Predators are not interested and excited by you lying down and rolling over. They're interested and excited by you putting up a fight. And when you don't, they just grab you by the neck, rip your throat out, and move on to the next one. Or they go back to fucking someone or something that gets them excited, right? Think about it. The lion predator is so bored by you fucking lean over, roll over, soft belly, duped out slaves. It's like either going to rip your throat out or it's going to go back to fucking its wife, who's a part lion. You ever seen a female lion chase a male lion out of the fucking den and give it what for? And you see the look on that male lion's face? Like, oh, I'm fucking with a real one. Yeah. That's what gets them interested. That's what gets them off. That's what gets them excited. Just like the administrators at court, quite frankly, somewhat like me as well. If we're going to do the completely, I guess, candid and open analysis, the dark aspect of me, the predatory, if you want to call it, aspect of me says, what will you slaves not believe and think and accept? Right? You know, and again, it's tempered by this idea that in a past life, I'd have just lied on everyone and scammed on everyone and took whatever I could get from you. Go ask Slow State about how it is to live like that now. Now I don't have it in me anymore. Now I realize it just reverts back onto me. It may still live in me, right? But it's not the whole at all of who and what I am. And I've had to come to realize it's actually not authentically the whole of who and what I am. Right. But it's still a darker aspect of self. So the I'm a slave idea comes out of the idea that these toxic positive folks who are duped out and deluded only like to see the light in themselves that they see in others. I see that as well. That's how I speak to folks so oftentimes here. You know, when we get past the breaking down of self or the delusion, the false self, we get to the building up process. One usually comes before the other. You got to tear down the distorted foundation before you build on top of it. Right. So but the aspect of me, that dark side of me, the Luke, I am your father, Darth Vader side of the Force says, what will you slaves not fucking take and accept? Because I want you to do and be better. I want you to have better. If not want, forget about what I want. I know it's available for you. You could have whatever you want and then some. You could have whatever you need and then some. Are you going to do the work and become who and what you need to be to get and have and become, right? That's always the question for every being. So because I'm aware that that's there, because I see the potential, because I speak as an inspiring, passionate force to that aspect of you, and you don't want to take it, the other side of me starts to come out. Like with Vaughn the other day, I go, hey, what bullshit are you not going to give me right now and try to insult everyone's intelligence? How bad do you want me to slap you upside the head metaphorically with the truth that you don't like because you need it? You know, that's what your masters are doing. That's what the dark side of the Force is doing. It's bringing you test and challenge and pain based on what you are holding as a belief. And until you drop that false belief, you're going to continue to have pain and suffering and slavery. Till you activate and go to the next level and leave all your false, duped out, deluded beliefs behind, you're going to get fucked. And it doesn't matter what you think about it and what you feel about it. The universe is not interested. The universe is interested in you becoming what you're meant to be and doing what's true and what's right because you know it versus what you believe. And in the middle of believe is lie. So you could just see the dynamic, the inherent hierarchical power and value, spiritual dynamic. I work primarily in trust, equity, and good faith. I will hop over in a half a second like that to the dark side of the Force to remind you you're embarrassing yourself. You're insulting your and everyone else's intelligence. You're demeaning yourself. You're devaluing yourself. Bend over and take another one till you get it through your head of what you need to do next. Stand up for yourself. Stand on something true and real. Move past the fear into faith and do what's right. If not, you will be ruled here. You will be taken advantage of. You will be controlled simply because of the fact that you failed to control yourself and the rest of your life. And take control of the rights that you have and the property you have. No, you've given that all away to somebody else. I don't care what you think and feel about it. I'm telling you what it is. And I'm telling you how it changes in oneself based on my firsthand experience. This isn't a pipe dream. This isn't a hypothetical. This is proven concept over and over again that correlates with literally every intro that I pull up that's not designed to correlate. It just does because it's synchronistic. Because there's only one self here on the highest level. There's only really one journey here. There's many aspects of self, but they all correlate to have the experience and to be part of the journey or not. Right? And of course, the gap there is awareness and lack of awareness. Pretty big oftentimes. Gap. So, you know, one of them is like the hero's journey. That's the one you hear a lot. That's the main idea, right? Not if you ain't cripping, cuh. Why don't you get up on panel and tell me all about cripping and blood and all the rest of it? Why don't you get up here and tell me all about it? I'm not into any of that nonsense. No offense, but what the fuck are you yapping about? Well, if you shut up and sat back and asked the right questions, or were an active listener, you'd be able to deduce what it is that I'm speaking about. If you can't after 5 or 10 minutes of me speaking, then maybe this place is not for you, I'm guessing. You know? So inherent hierarchical power and value systems. If you can't understand what that means, ask me and I'll try to give you more detail. I'll try to even make it understood based on how you live without even knowing you. I will speak to what the predominant experience is, and you tell me if that relates to you or not. I'm pretty good at that. I don't have to directly relate to how you're living to relate to how you're living, because whatever lives within you lives within me. I just have an understanding and somewhat direction with it and over it, while most folks just seem to drift in life. And I get that because I was a drifter most of my life. See, that's what makes this thing work. This process here works because I've been drifting most of my life till I got a handle on what was actually going on as far as I can perceive. I guess we'll figure it out long game, right? That's one of the things I've learned. You know till you don't know. So yeah, we're talking here indirectly or directly: inspiration, empowerment, co-creation, self-knowledge, growth, development, spiritual faith, legal and lawful. That's the main thing. If folks know me at all, they would know me for going to court over and over again, getting dismissals, suing folks now, doing it all without a lawyer, based on the foundational law of the land and foundational process and procedure versus what it's become, the legal system, right? So legal versus lawful. These things all correlate, believe it or not. They kind of like one feeds into the other, feeds into the next, and they all kind of work with each other as kind of separate parts of the whole. I feel so sorry for people who live their lives like this. Must be so lonely. I'm not sure what that means. Would you like to come up here and interact? You folks have a habit of projecting onto people. You're constantly projecting who and what you are and saying it's the person you're talking about. And it just doesn't make any sense. You don't know me and how I live. You have no idea what my countenance is. And my countenance here does not present as somebody who's lonely. So your analysis is off. I'm far from a lonely person. So much so, I have a list of folks who want to deal with me. And oftentimes I really don't want much interaction. So I may be alone a lot of my life, but that doesn't make me lonely. I'm so lonely. That's you. You want to project that onto me. I'm far from a lonely person. Homely, some might say, but not lonely. But thank you for playing. Thank you for the projection deception. Thank you for revealing who and what you are and then trying to downplay somebody else, because that allows you to cope better in your life, right? You're the person coming to a chat box to project out into the ether to a bunch of people who don't give a fuck about what you're saying and believe. Who's the lonely one? I'm the reason you're here right now, right? I'm giving you a place to gather and you're telling me I'm lonely. It really doesn't make much sense. What does make sense is you're the lonely one who has nowhere else to be with no one else to do it with. And you spend your time perusing the internet chat boxes to throw your non-asked for opinion out into the ether and oftentimes be wrong and claim you're right and then try to demean others. I'm thinking you're the disempowered, uninspired, boring, lonely slave, because who'd want to be around someone like you who not only goes around giving perspectives that weren't asked for or not cared about, but just being wrong while doing it? Because I do half of that equation sometimes. I'll go around and say what I see and what I'm feeling and experiencing, but oftentimes I'm correct. And that's kind of a small but big difference. Why would I be lonely? I got this guy right across the way. I got Jennifer, who I see every day. I got Ramiro. I got a dog here. I'm far from lonely. Oftentimes I have a bit too much interaction and action for my liking. And we're not even going to mention this place, right? In the Unslavian. Yeah, check out the well, not check out, but subscribe to the Willing Few. This is the channel at Will Few, in case we got to use it because the hater slaves are striking again. Hasn't been an issue. I usually get my way when it comes to these false claims and false strikes. It's pretty easy, just like court. Go by the facts. Tard still tarding. Yep. All right, are we going to get to the docket here at some point? I mean, I am lonely, so nothing like having the audience here to cope with my rampant loneliness. You also have God. When did I say that I didn't, Mr. 420? Another right fighting comment. Another you're right, I'm wrong. Another you're a better person than me, but hiding on an alternate account and can't come up here. Got it. Hey, why don't you just keep doing a broadcast from the chat box? Maybe like someone will like be like, oh, this person's really interesting and impressive and intelligent. We want more of them. Maybe you can slip in your actual horrible account and channel, get some people over there. They're really interested in hearing and seeing what you have to say. All the overly pious slaves who act like every time that I don't suck God's feet, it means God doesn't exist, right? Because I don't live day to day in every interaction sort of from a third party perspective where I'm choosing to experience and also witness at the same time and understand that there's a greater force and intelligence here that allows everything to be what it is, right? I never deny that. It never slips my consciousness. And because it's constantly part of my experience, I don't feel the need to constantly yell it out and project it everywhere. I do enough of that. See, all you overly pious non-believers who pretend to be so grounded in your faith have to constantly yell out God like you're climaxing with some woman every 3 seconds because you're so scared that you're going to come to a point in your life where your faith is going to waver. Please stop projecting that onto everyone else. I never deny God. I speak way more about God than probably everything else. I just don't like the term God. I think that it's been corrupt and distorted, right? And it doesn't bring the proper connotation. Oftentimes, it brings people to a split with reality where they start to imagine their daddy in the sky doing everything for them while they do belittle to nothing, right? It's a hell of a coping mechanism. So thank you for reminding me what I never forget, that I'm in a universe and part of a higher intelligence, and that it walks with me, if not is in me constantly, making it superfluous to constantly have to yell it out to everybody as if we can't see it and know it and understand that we're being with it, right? Some of us don't have your experience because you don't really believe what you're saying because you're not really having the experience. So you got to yak about it constantly, to the point where other people who aren't having the experience don't want to have the experience because they think you're nuts. See? That's for the Keith Talcotts and the Snafu slaves and the Slackcotts and all the rest. People who aren't having a godly experience want nothing you're offering because when they look at you and listen to you, they think you're completely insane, derelict. So you're not good speakers. You're not good stewards. You're not good servants. You're not allowing the minds and hearts of men to buy into the higher intelligence. You're in a way deceiving them or chasing them away from it. The Illuma trannies. These people want to be nothing like you. They don't want to have the life that you have. They don't want to look like you, walk like you, talk like you, sound like you, nothing. They don't want to have your shitty Section 8 lifestyle. They don't want to have your completely distorted, overly pious, yet doubtful countenance and persona that wavers at every angle when there's any kind of resistance test or challenge with you. You know, your willingness to lie and project, deceive and distort constantly. You're horrible servants of your God that you claim. Your numbers are evidence of that. Your brokenness inside and out and in your pockets is evidence of that. The fact that you have no one around you who looks any kind of attractive, appealing, empowered, inspired is evidence of that. So could you guys all stop coming here and acting like I want to be like you and preach like you and minister like you and facilitate like you? I don't. Because you have horrible results, you have horrible companions, you have horrible countenance and horrible results. Because guess what? You don't believe you're really in communion with the higher force as much as you say you are, and your results don't show that on any level. So let's just cut the fucking power games. Yelling about God every 3 seconds is for the people who really don't believe in it and don't have the results. They got to cope harder. The ones who are truly reverent, who've had the experience and the revelation, they keep it close to them at all times, and they don't have to fucking constantly yell about it and yap about it. They can also correlate that higher experience to smaller, more day-to-day practical ideas and how that integrates in. The ones who don't have the experience can't. They can't tell you about their day-to-day experience and make it relate to yours. You know how many times folks have emailed me or messaged me and say they think I'm talking about them directly? It goes from synchronistic to almost schizophrenic. And I go, that's what I'm shooting for. I'm going for talking to an aspect of me that I know relates to other folks here, and I'm boiling it down to a day-to-day process and series of events at times. So much so, a core audience here is going to relate to what I'm saying and feel like I'm talking to them while I'm also talking to me. That's the one self-reflective holographic idea. Without knowledge of self and knowledge of the universe and knowledge of who and what we are, what we're doing and where it goes, that can't be done. You guys' best efforts is some watered down replication of what you see and hear, and it just doesn't translate or apply because you're not really having the experience. We got clowns in the chat, apparently, clown faces. Right, that's the thing, Demo. The Christards like to project onto God that it's all about love. You know, the New Agers, the Slackcots, they like to make it all about God is love, and then that's supposed to feel good all the time. That's not reality. You know, it's not to say that there's not a love or a care or a faith within you that you can use as an island, so to speak. It's like saying, I'll give you the example, right? We're back to cliches. Adversity makes men, prosperity makes monsters. It's like saying if you have a father or a son, just because you love them, you're never going to expose them to tests and challenges or even help to be part of them in a functional way, not a dysfunctional way, right? So that, let's be clear on that. But just because I love my child doesn't mean that I'm not going to not set them up for failure, but set them up knowing they're going to experience failure so they can experience winning. You think I'm going to take away all their suffering and pain? You think I'm going to attempt to take away all their tests and challenges? No, not knowing higher and beyond that that's what makes you. That would be a detriment to the son, right? If I was to have a son and I was to give them everything and help to take away all their suffering and pain and tests and challenges, I would produce a weak ass hoed out bitch. And that's exactly what you have. Weak men create hard times. Strong men create good times. I'm not saying we should be dysfunctional and lack love. I'm just saying don't project onto, if you want to look at it as Father God, as a personified archetypal beingness, that just because it has love for you or works with you or walks with you or you are one of its children, that it's going to somehow take away all your tests and challenges and your pain. No, that's what teaches you. If anything, it's going to allow that and even help to create that because it wants to see you rise and grind, you know, wants to see you rise and shine, as they used to say. So, you know, it's not a popular idea for the No Child Left Behind public fool system of politicos and wannabe bourgeoisie, right? Who all have the white collars and tests and challenges. Bad. You know, we don't want anything that may hurt the feelers or challenge beliefs. We do want to challenge beliefs when it comes to the supernatural, like what's a man, what's a woman? We don't know. We're going to remake it. But don't say anything that hurts their feelers, right? This is the corruption. This is the deceiver. This is the one who allows you to not become what you're meant because it wants to use mama's corrupt, toxic, non-sacred, feminine spirit to lull you to sleep, to make you feel like it's all going to be okay, to take all the tests and challenges and pain away. And now you have a lump sitting there that can't make anything with itself and out of itself, can't perceive of reality or life on life's terms, can't rise to the occasion and overcome, right? Can't pass the tests and challenges, can't go past its fear into faith because it's been cuddled its whole life and allowed to be a weak ass bitch. That's not godly. So it's unpopular. You may not like it, but it makes sense. So if God is the Father and it loves you. Okay, Junior, get on your shit. What does one have to do with the other? I love you so much, I'm not going to let you accept less for yourself. And I'm going to help facilitate tests and challenges and pain and suffering so you can overcome. and you can understand more and apply more and get different results. An absence of that process does not make a man, it makes a maggot. And that's the reality of creation, whether we like it or not. Listen, take a plant, grow it in a fucking gymnasium with 100 watts of fluorescent light, and don't put a fan on it, and watch how fucking weak that motherfucker is, and watch how the root ball is so limited. Take that same fucking plant, put it out there with the big ass, hot ass sun, with the wind blowing and the rains and all the rest, and tell me it don't grow into a strong, majestic tree on some level. See? So it's counterintuitive or instinctual to avoid or to move into the fear, to move into the pain, to move into the shaking up of one's beingness and foundation. But through our experience and understanding, we know that's what makes a more hardy, word is hardy, creature. And that's why Slow State was a perfect example yesterday. He thought I was playing a game while he's playing a game. No, I'm in this for the real. I'm a hardy creature. I'm heart-based intelligence and consciousness. You're in your mind playing mind games, perceiving things the way they're not, reacting to shit that's not there, playing power games when you're just looking desperate because you've not been forged in the fire, right? You want to tell me in the back too that I'm rejecting my dark side. No, I've integrated it. You haven't, and you don't understand this attempt to be cool and hip by constantly adorning this dark side of yours. Your dark side is your light side. See, the mirror flips. So I come into this for what's true and what's real, spiritually faithful, godly, and righteous. I'm not claiming to be that by any means all the way. I'm on a path with that, right? So my dark side's an actual dark side. You lead with your dark side, so your dark side's actually a light side, and you won't accept it. So when I or Lewis or others attempt to talk spiritual faith and God and true love to you and the quantum physics and the reality of unity of our experience, you reject it because that's your dark side. See, I was just like you at one point. I thought it was hip to be a darker side of the self, right? It's cool to be a low life degenerate scum. No, it ain't. So now I flip the mirror. I lead with my light side. Right. I'm obviously integrated in my dark side, as I spoke about before, and folks have seen it come out here or directed in certain ways here based in truth. Because that doesn't change. The principles and the values, logic, morals, and ethics doesn't change. The expression may change. The sentiment of where it's coming from and where it's going may change. And even that can be directed to some degree, or at least understood and accepted. So folks need to understand that your dark side doesn't have to be your dark side. If you lead with your dark side's actually your light side. And many of you think it's cute to constantly be dysfunctional and deviant and negative and fake and all the rest of it, because you don't want to own your dark side, which is the light side, that there is a truth, a life, a way here, a true love, a true care, a true set of values and principles, a journey we can walk to empowerment, inspiration, understanding, accomplishment, actualization, and realization. You're still caught up in the loser failure mindset of middle school and high school, that cutting class is cool and cute, that ignoring the information and the understanding is cool and cute. Maybe it is there in the institutional public fool system, but not when we talk self-growth, self-knowledge, actualization, realization, legal, lawful, and all the rest of it. It's not cute and cool to be dumbed down, not be able to even fucking talk, not know who and what you are, and make little quips to try to use humor to cope. Makes you a fucking pathetic loser who's shallow and vapid. And all these same people want to masquerade like they're so deep and profound, and you're not. You're transparent, you're see-through, you're one-dimensional. And you're sorely lacking when it comes to different aspects of understanding of intelligence and co-creation. But that's why we do what we do here. I don't know why I like you to rant on me. And again, listen, I talk about these things not because I'm exempt from them, because I'm not exempt from them. I can speak about them. So I was once again somebody who, for the longest time, thought it was hip and cool to only move through the darker side of aspects of self and creation. And I realized that is part of the deceiver's modality. The light of truth and the light of heart-based consciousness and true care, right? Because love oftentimes is romanticized. True care, true love, romanticized or not, right? what Mr. O'Shea would call agape love, which is, maybe something different, but the agape, as they say. So there's not only nothing wrong with that, that is one of your greatest, if not greatest, power and peace. It just has to be tempered by that dark side of quote unquote realism to some degree, so we don't get too airy fairy and ungrounded. But to stick in that modality and ignore true care or true love and archetypal values and principles and a hero's journey, do it to your own detriment. And again, that's why I think a lot of times here people feel my heart, right? Before they see who I am, they feel me. And they say, this guy might be a little bit wacky, he might be a little bit eccentric and crazy, but he really believes what he's saying and he has a handle to some degree on what's going on. It translates. That's something that doesn't go on with the majority of these panel hosts. Folks are not feeling them, right? It's just a mask. It's a presenter. It's another empty suit. It's Hollywood 101, part 2. What really translates is authentic testing and challenging experience at the core that has forced somebody to become vulnerable, to understand themselves, and through that, those moments of weakness and triumph, they start to know themselves and what to do and be in life and their purpose better. The more you live that, the more you feel that, the more you experience that, the more you translate as a beingness to other beings experiencing you. Even to the point where folks who don't like you or even understand what you're saying can still feel that there's something there. They're going to go on a walk with you, long game, right? That's the fisherman of men. Mateo, let's get down to it. Now that you're here, I don't think about you like that, but I remember whatever, and then we get to it when people show up. There's a lot going on. The point is, did you send me an email last night saying that you're going to try to claim $17 million or whatever from some court?
Yeah.
I'm not going to work with you and deal with this. It's absolutely childish. It's pathetic and embarrassing. You just want a big payoff, and you're going to go into
all right. This
you're going to go into court and embarrass yourself, and you're going to get yourself in dishonor, and I want nothing to do with it.
For real.
For real. You think I'm going to sit here and how many you don't listen to me? That's the thing. You folks don't listen to me when I speak. You don't really listen to what I'm saying, and you think it's some kind of fucking game, and it is, but it's not. Right? It's true in some sense, false in some sense, most statements, right? So is courting a game to a degree? Yes, because it's like, we got to stand on the X, do this is going to happen, they're going to make a move, we're going to see where this goes. We're playing chess, and the best game is no game because we keep it all the way real. But if you think that I'm going to sign on to go into court because you, once again, you're not getting away from accountability, responsibility. You make bad choices in your life. You let a dumb bitch in the house. She got on drugs, hit you with a fucking lamp, whatever the fucking story is, and you want to call the cops after the fact to protect you and to run your life for you because you need a daddy or a mommy because you can't make proper choices, like a lot of us out here. I'm no different. I'm just calling it for what the fuck it is. The difference is, over the last 10 years since I put the drugs down and all the loser failures, put them up on the shelf, I've had a very relatively suffering-free life, other than being my own worst enemy, right? Not eating properly, feeding into certain addictions. I don't have a bunch of people, places in my things, people, places, and things in my life at this point that are fucking my life up constantly and causing me a whole bunch of problems. And when I do, I cut ties if I have to, because my sobriety, my care for myself, my success, my future, my life, my responsibilities are more important to me than bozo people, places, and things. So you let her in, however it happened, she went off the deep end, she acted out, you got consequences from it, and now you want a system to try to keep you safe, protect you, or respond and give you shit. That's not how I live. It's not in alignment with what I do. Sometimes things go wrong. You got to take accountability, responsibility. Sometimes there isn't even an answer or clarification. There's no closure. And a lot of times you ain't getting nothing for it. So if you want to go into trying to get 17 and $25 million from a court because some bitch you let in hit you.
First thing,
you got to be out of your fucking
that amount
mind.
So high, it's because so they would settle on something lower.
Right. We know what you're doing. They know what you're doing, just like I know what you're doing. And they're going to laugh you out of the place, if you're lucky, if you're not lucky and they decide to, they're going to bring you up on fraud charges, and you're going to wind up in a box wondering why they didn't pay you.
What are you talking? No, all right.
If you fucking perjure yourself at court, they're going to arrest you, dumbass.
How would I perjure? How the fuck would I perjure myself?
Tell me right now what the $17 million is for. Show me the true bill. Where's your medical expenses? Where's the home fund?
I submitted to.
And when it comes out to less than $100,000, and you're looking for $17 million, they're going to send
the police administrator a fucking medical document, and now
they don't want to listen. And I'm the fucking moron to begin with for even interacting with someone like this who's shown me over and over again they can't control their fucking selves. They're not willing to be sensible and rational. They want what they want when they want it, and when they don't get it, they're going to act out like a fucking child, just like that woman you brought in, because like meets like. Birds of a feather flock together. I guarantee she's just like you. You got bigger problems, Bubba. You got to work on your mind, your heart, your life, your lifestyle, where the fuck you're living, what you're doing with your time, energy, and attention, what you're doing for a living and not, and how you conduct yourself in your relationships. You don't need to be going to court, yelling and screaming, telling them you want 17 million so they settle on less. They're going to laugh you the fuck out of there, and they're going to arrest your ass for bringing forth a false claim and perjuring yourself and trying to use the court as a ghetto lottery system. You're doing the opposite of what I'm doing on every level, and I keep getting put in a box. I got a hiatal hernia. They ripped my lungs through my rib cage. I got a whole bunch of problems that have come up from interactions with these people, and you don't see me going back to try to get a big payday. I've moved on. I took the loss, and now I sue them when proper, and I don't even put a dollar amount. We'll let the court decide what's necessary and proper, adequate remuneration or compensation. I'm not playing this fucking game with you. You want more money? Go get a motherfucking job. You want more money? Go be a slow state or a slack cot. Put 2 to 4 hours of your fucking time in on here. Tell your hard luck, pathetic story, and hope that they give you something. I'm not going to sign on to this. You're not destroying my credibility with the courts and my good name. You're not going to be another one who uses my name and my presentment to fuck up your life and mine as well. It's not happening. Thoughts on any of that?
What'd you say?
Thoughts on any of that?
All right, you want to hear what I said?
Go ahead.
The police administrator, I submitted a document from my doctor, and now they want to meet with me. Like it's a lot more deep than what the fuck you're saying.
I don't know how deep it is, and I don't need to. I'm telling you what my perspective is.
Yeah, exactly. Your perspective, and your perspective is completely wrong.
Okay, then you have what you need. You have a doctor. I showed you what my complaint looks like. Claim, rather. What they would potentially consider to be a complaint.
And I drafted up my own, and I showed you.
I understand that. I'm telling you, and I may just be wrong. I'm not the oracle here.
I know you're not. That's why I'm not like mad at you ranking, because a lot of it's not even true.
I'm telling you, I can't see you getting 17 to 40 million, whatever your number was, 17 or 40 million dollars.
I didn't say 40. That's crazy.
I thought there were two numbers there, if I saw correctly. But
there were, but it wasn't 40.
You literally just told me that you put the number so high, hoping they would settle on a lower number that would still make you rich. That is not honorable in good faith.
See, you don't know me, dude.
I do, because I don't need to know you to know what you said. The last time we were here, you said you wanted a big payday. That's why you're doing this.
Well,
you're not doing this because...
I didn't say... The words big payday did not come out of my mouth.
What words were they?
I don't remember. I know that didn't come out of my mouth.
I asked you, you're doing this because you want a big payday, and you said, yeah.
I didn't say that.
I said it, and you confirmed it. And then the claim that you drafted up confirmed it.
I don't recollect those exact words.
Dude, you have to have somebody. You have to have a whole village die for you to get $17 million. You know what are we talking about here?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Some
perjury?
bitch hit you with a lamp and you want $17 million.
That didn't happen. Second thing, what perjury charges could be brought
when they brought you? I don't know. I'm just telling you. I don't play with the court system beyond what's necessary. They usually charge me. I have a lawsuit pending because they put me in a box for 2 days and claimed I did a crime and it was dismissed. So now we're going to have to decide what that amounts to. I'm not claiming any dollar amount. If I was to claim a dollar amount, it'd be like to the number, to the decimal point, what it cost me. So
well, I didn't put that. I didn't put any numbers on the actual paperwork.
So I just made up $17 million.
I said, what you decide on is what I said. Wrote essentially.
I'm just telling you that you know, this is something I deal with folks. I've done this enough to see what the game is. You got someone like myself, hasn't even started to sue people till I've been arrested almost a dozen times. The rest of you don't even get arrested. You bump into a cop or an agent.
I've been arrested before multiple times.
My point is, you don't know how to stand for yourself in life. You don't know how to stand for yourself at court. You're almost incommunicado at certain points, and you want to jump to a $17 million lawsuit.
Oh, I didn't write that. I did not write that in that document.
So I'm seeing things.
So I wrote that in there in that document.
Don't play games with me. Someone or something wrote it in there.
It's not in the actual document. I asked it in a question.
Right, and I'm telling you that I believe the root of your consciousness is you're money hungry, and it's not going to look good for you at court.
I did not put that in the document. So
I have to pull this up here?
What you're saying. I shouldn't put it because it's going to make me look money hungry.
Right. I don't know. I don't know who put it, who didn't. I know that I saw a number of 17 or $41 million.
41? There's no 40.
Okay,
Shit.
17 million. We'll stick to that one because there's two numbers there. Maybe you're not aware. Am I off on the 17 million number?
No, the 17 I put down. I didn't put no 40 fucking million.
What do you mean? This person called me. I can't give someone chlamydia over the phone. I don't have it, and I can't give it to you over the phone. I don't know what that's about. Okay, so someone, not you, put on your paper you sent to me 17 million.
No. I wrote it in a question,
and I'm answering you now. I think it's absolutely ridiculous and embarrassing.
All right. That's answering my question.
Right, and I think
I think you start
talking
document.
numbers when you didn't get cost any money. You got cost through time, energy, attention, and maybe aspects of your what you believe to be your health, but you can't show any cause or bills for that. So it's like to go to court with these people from a commercial side and start claiming numbers. You better be like to the dollar, right? Like it cost me $600 for a tow, cost me $40 for storage, cost me whatever, and then the rest is they put me in a box for X amount of hours. What do you guys think that's worth if we're talking Gitas instead of you guys going to prison? Because really what we're talking here is they committed a crime. Not in your case, but in my case. They did deprivation of rights under color of law, which is a mandatory minimum sentencing under federal code, right? But they just go, hey, well, instead of like our agent getting put in federal prison for the next 20 years or being shot, which is what the code says, it's not what I'm saying. I don't even want that. I'm not vengeful and retributive. Well, I guess the only way to handle this is to hit you guys in the pocket because you're a corporation and a business. And every time you lose money, you start to rethink how you do business. But I'm not going to go in there talking numbers so they can turn around and go, Paulie boy, you want us to give you $1 million? Why don't you put up the $1 million? So when you go to court,
dude, I'm not going to say a number and keep it out at the original document that I have.
Yeah, or if they say, hey, can you account for how you came to $1 million? And I'm going to be sitting there going, I made it so high that I wanted to come out with at least 200,000. You know, that's not going to fly. So you got to somewhat prove loss, injury, and harm, and then you got to like allow them to basically, through conferring jurisdiction, say, well, we're going to bring in some citizen slaves to be the judge, or we're going to do bench trial, and this is our precedent. For every hour you sat in jail, we usually give 5 or 7 G's, and then that's the rubric, right? And you can argue that or not. I mean, I'm not in this for money. Ultimately, I'm in this to put it on the record and to tap their pockets so they leave me the fuck alone in the future, right? I'm looking to secure my rights and my property now and into the future. And the way you do that is break on a hoe when they're not serving a pimp, right? And of course, I'm doing tongue-in-cheek lingo. They're servants, I'm man. They're here to serve me, rub my back, rub my feet, bring me something to drink if I want it and need it. I don't ask for shit, so leave me the fuck alone. You want to be my servant and interfere with my rights? I'm going in your pockets, just like a hoe when they're in a pimp's face. That's the rules. So, you know, it makes sense to me. Quite frankly, it may not even stop this. You may have to start putting these motherfuckers in a box, just like they do with the rest of us. Hey, you want to be sheriff? You want to be policy enforcement? You want to do this, that, and the third? You interfere with somebody's rights and you push a fraudulent contract on the side of the road, and you take somebody's property. You're going to the box because you stole. You're going to the box because you kidnapped. You're going to the box because you're misusing your official position. You're going to the box because you're doing sedition. You're doing treason. You know, we're like way past that point. Some might say, some might argue that like we're at a point where 200 something years ago, it'd have been war.
Do you think I have a criminal mindset?
Yeah.
Really?
I think that I do as well. What's your point?
I know you do. The way you talk. It doesn't
really matter if you have a criminal mind or not. A criminal mind is good because then you can see criminals coming and avoid them or thwart them. Having a criminal mind, most cops have a criminal mind. They've just directed they've just directed their heart to what they believe is a beneficial outcome, which we know oftentimes even more is a deception. The point is, if I want to catch a criminal, I got to think like a criminal. There's nothing wrong with having a criminal mind. The point is, are you broken-hearted enough to use that criminal mind to do loss, injury, or harm, or to take from people? Right? Or is your heart renewed and restored, quote unquote, saved, as some have said, to where while you have the criminal mind, you know that to do any loss, injury, or harm, or to steal even 1 penny would put you in karmic ill repute, right? I really believe that. I really believe that you could put $1 million on this table, and if I take $1 fucking dollar of it and don't account for it, I'm gonna get it back tenfold or more. So there's no point in even doing it. I'm not denying that the impulse of the flesh is not there, right? The flesh is a motherfucker, you know, but the idea is the spiritual practice, the spiritual faith, the knowledge of self, one does not even entertain beyond sort of witnessing it at times, the impulse of the flesh, because it would be devaluing, demeaning, and detrimental to one's spirit and karma here to even engage in that, right? Once you cross the threshold of reformation and repentance, there is no going back. Right. As a matter of fact, you go the other way. Right. If I see someone stealing at Walmart or somewhere else, I'm gonna beat their ass if I have to, because I don't give a fuck. They'll try to. They've done it with me before. They try to logic with me. Well, it's Walmart. They're a big corporation. It's not really stealing if you steal from them. No, you're still a thief. I don't want to be, and I don't want to live around a bunch of thieving, lying scum, because that's the ruination of every fucking society and community. That's the ruination of this government. Thieving, lying scum. So you want to reflect them and then claim to be better than them or claim to have better than them? It's never going to happen. The way it does happen is by being better than them and being better than how we used to be. I wouldn't care if they opened the doors of Walmart and everybody walked out. I wouldn't take a motherfucking thing, even if I knew I could get away with it 100%. Because quite frankly, in the past, I stole everything that wasn't nailed down, or I used to get other people and I would train them how to steal, and then I would get a cut of it. So I'm not involved in any of that. I wouldn't be involved in that for 3 seconds, because I would put my spirit in a negative place. I would start to hate myself, and the universe would start to fuck me at every turn. It's not worth it. On any level is it worth it. So that's the position one has to come through being saved in grace, as they like to say, to get the mercy. And it's an organic, authentic maturation process. There is no other way to get it. You actually have to come to that centric point in your heart-based intelligence for yourself through your own tests and challenges and trials, right? That's how you get truly self-governing. That's how God works in your life. And that's how the government starts to turn you loose, because they start to feel and see this man has learned his lesson. He knows who and what he is. He can govern himself effectively. He's united with God. We're not here to govern God's children and God's people. We're here to govern the devil's people, the Babylonians, who don't know any better. And if you left Walmart open, because they do it every day, the scum would be right up in there taking whatever wasn't nailed down they thought they could get away with. And that's why this place is falling more and more day by day, because it's all just been justified.
Damn.
And now they're calling in the spiritual karma even more. You got a lot of states going, we ain't gonna even put you in jail or anything if you come in and steal. And if someone tries to physically stop you, they're gonna get charged. They know what they're doing. Them demons are now using code to exempt the individual of liability, responsibility, to put everyone deeper into karmic judgment. So them states are going to start to go into judgment, because everyone's buying into the corporation, won't govern themselves, and the corporation has now used statute, policy, and code to embolden the devil in everybody. You want to do math? You want to do that? I'm not saying that they should even go to jail. I'm just saying they're sanctioning it in the sense of, go ahead and do it. We're not going to bother you. It's not bad. It's not wrong. Poor whoever is hungry and they don't have enough money, and instead of work, they're going to steal from Walmart today. Once you open the door to allowing that, and then even saying you're going to protect it and you're going to stop other people from stopping it, that's how you put a whole fucking state and a whole nation into judgment. And it's no coincidence to me, right? They know what they're doing. They're agents of that force, right? And that's why you're seeing people start to relocate to these places, because they know it's an open air asylum. We can do drugs, we can do prostitution, we can thieve, we can lie. Hey, we're just like our government. Yeah, you're just like daddy. It's exactly what they want. They're becoming devilish, and they're getting all of their children to reflect their deviance and devilishness so they can put everyone into judgment. They don't even know they're doing it. It's an avatared scenario. Just like Slow State yesterday, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know where he is, what planet he's on. He can't even read me in the room and what's happening. They're all being avatared. I'm not saying I'm not. Like there's a spirit in everybody, and it's predominantly manifesting the individual and collective experience. Then you have to decide what that spirit is, right? And you can argue this is a dualistic dynamic. So there's a little bit of light, there's a little bit of dark. And when misunderstood or misdirected, you have nothing but chaos and confusion, disempowerment, and disintegration. And that's the absence of prosperity for any community or any country, right? A true community is communing. That's the root word. A true country is a series of communities, like a chipset. You got your community here, 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 here. They're all linked either directly or indirectly by roads, like little computer chips, right? And everything functions toward a greater whole. It's power and value systems dynamics. When you have these splintered communities of broken individuals who have no principles and values working toward an individual or collective cause, you have a short circuit experience where the charge, the energy, the currency is now being misdirected, misappropriated. You got sparks happening, right? You got misfires. You got overloading of certain systems. This is the thing. Everything is micro to macro. As within, so without, as above, so below. It's all holographic and reflective. The computer's operating system of the country of America is now distorted because all of the individuated communities that form the chips that connect to each other, that generate the outcome, are short-circuiting because they're running their own programs, right? We're back to my way or the way from the beginning of time. Everyone wants to do it their way, which they don't understand is Shaitan's way. Through the false self. And then there's the way, which is God's way. One creates kill, steal, and destroy. One creates prosperity. We don't even need to talk like this. This should just come down to common sense. Your daddy and your mama taught you stop lying, cheating, and stealing, work hard, save what you got, reinvest, and stop being a fucking lazy fraud and procrastinating, weak-ass, bitch-ass scum. The only problem is, where were the mommy and daddies teaching that on the whole? There may be some left, but on the whole, that's not what we got. We got voters, we got fake godders, we got political science trash. You know the deal. That has all replaced the archetypes, the aspects of Babylon has all replaced the truest experience of family and foundational law and experience here. It's not a coincidence. It's exactly what it's meant to do. So now we have a reunification, a revival, a reformation, a repentance movement that's happening through us because we're avatared, folks like myself here, to remind, the word is remind, to put the mind back on what was always the truest, the most valuable, the purest, the most beautiful, the greatest, right? It's no coincidence. While your corporate buddies are yelling, make America great again, while they sell this place out from underneath everybody, folks like me on the ground and Cameron Wilson back there are doing our best in our own ways to make ourselves great again, presuming we ever were that or great for the first time. We'll settle on good if we can, but, you know, pursuing greatness. And by proxy, we are opening a door for the rest of Americans to pursue greatness. Upholding the law, exercising their rights, securing their property through proper contract, not putting themselves on record as a trustee or an agent of the corporation. And what are the rest doing? Like DeCastro and the other grifter scum telling us we're getting our audience hurt, telling us we're lying. You know, I'll speak for me. I don't sell no products. I don't sell a dream. I don't promise anybody anything. I'm telling you, we got to do this because it's true and it's right. And this is what the foundation of Make America Great Again is. The voting's not going to get it done. The paying the tax is not going to get it done. The putting on the uniforms is not going to get it done. None of it is going to get it done. Your GBIS ain't going to get it done. That's if you want what it is that you keep saying that you want and understand that you need what you need in life. You know? So this should be and would have been at some point to some people common sense and common co-creation. And it's been lost to culture, root word cult. And they're doing a great job confusing everybody. The majority, right? Not for the rest of us. But the kingdom of heaven is few and the gate is narrow. So I'm faithful even though I'm not hopeful. Cameron, what can I do for you, man?
I'm just in, chilling, listening, enjoying the breakdown of understanding and comprehension and truth and knowing, you know, vibing with the vibes in the ether. I'm digging with the frequency right now.
Right.
Harmonizing, sinking in. Because it does take a lot of work, bro. It's selfless. You know, you got to become selfless at some point where it's like, it's not about me anymore. It's not about my selfish desires. It's about the whole. It's a lot of work.
I mean, it is, but it isn't, right? We got to get selfish to get selfless because we got to leave the parties and the bullshit friends and some of the family and all the rest of it where it's at to pursue something above and beyond that. And they're going to tell you that's selfish, right? The point is, what self are we moving toward? Is it the same self that just like them, that's accepting less for ourselves and each other? Or is it a truer and higher self that unites all of us? So I got no problem getting selfish when it comes to the highest self that I can perceive. And I'm not interested if the other lowly selves want to perceive me as being lowly selfish, because that's not what this is about. You got to get truly selfish with your higher self and communion with that in order to get selfless and give that understanding and experience back to the other lowly, selfish, worldly slaves who either want to continue to be in the world and of it or want out of Babylon and want to resonate with their truest and highest spirit to be loving and free, inspired and empowered, co-created because they can be and should be, instead of cooperative, working within some kind of corporate machinery. And no, I'm not some collectivist commie either that thinks everybody's going to sit around and do little to nothing and get more. No, down the hall to the left. This is going to take actual tests and challenge. This is going to take on the ground work. This is going to take us replacing all the products and services that we are complaining about. Good luck. See, where there's a will, there's a way. You don't need luck. Go ask the Amish folks. So this ain't like me, but it's going to have to be like me, if that makes sense, right? I'm an East Coast, New York, Irish, Italian, born 1989. So it's kind of interesting for me to be now looking back or looking forward, realizing I'm going to have to become more like the Amish people rather than more like, you know, Melrose Place or whatever the fuck we grew up on, Friends, and all the nonsense. Saved by the Bell. Right? So sounds crazy to me, but makes sense if you understand where we're at and what needs to happen. Sometimes you got to go backward to go forward. Let's go docket.
Going backward is going forward, though, because we've gotten so far away from the foundation in and of itself. And we've got so high in the sky from this balloon we've been holding on to, this promise, thinking that we're going to reach some glorious peak just to fall down to where the foundation is in of itself, just to knock ourselves back into realization that the foundation is everything. Man, it's crazy. Yeah, because we've gotten just so far from the foundation in and of itself. It's like, to understand what freedom is, it's like if you go back in, like, yeah, we've come so far from just the aspects of, you know, next year will be 250 years from 1776. So if we're looking at it in that aspect, 250 years, and look how many rights we've lost. Look how dumb we've become. Look how we failed our ancestors in relation to upholding what they fought so viciously for. Man, that blows my mind in and of itself.
I want to touch on this because this is just pure sort of indoctrination, victimhood consciousness. There's a good chance this person is like, in quotes, black, Latino, because they're going to tell me all about how it's systemic class system along with racism. Let's cut the garbage, because I grew up in a real world surrounded by Latino and black folks. I was the minority. And guess what? Guess what the biggest problems in those communities were? It wasn't racism, and it wasn't systemic classism. It was a lack of co-creative principles and values and ethics and logic and application to get better results for self and in a community. Hello. The same thing the white people are dealing with. So cut the fucking games. Stop blaming other people. Nothing stops the Amish folks. Nothing stops black Amish folks, whoever color you want them to be, from going out, getting their fucking cheddar together, going to get some fucking land and living on it like some kind of free, empowered, co-creative people. Okay? So I'm not denying classism. I'm not denying systemic racism. I'm saying that's not your and other people in certain communities' biggest fucking problem, color aside. The culture is, okay? The white man and the racism and the system didn't tell young black folks to shoot each other and push fentanyl and join gangs. Your mommies and daddies did or didn't, and located themselves in a bunch of shithole cities where it was so prevalent it was almost impossible to avoid. Okay? So let's take some fucking accountability, responsibility individually so we could do it collectively to solve the problems we face. Because blaming fucking classism and racism has never got anybody anywhere yet except disempowered in a victimhood state and blaming other people, lacking responsibility and accountability. There's plenty of black and brown and other type of motherfuckers who do well in their life. They do what's true and what's right. They run a business properly. They do good business. They have products and services. They do ministry. They do community. And they're successful in pretty much all ways, or they're on a path to become that. So if you ain't, there's probably a reason. And them two usually ain't it. Just from my experience. All right, let me hit the docket here real quick. We got a Florida deputy watching porn crashes a patrol car. I want to see it. I don't know. I'm interested.
Wait, before you start that, I got something funny.
A Florida police officer is off the job after he crashed his patrol car while watching, let's just say, things he definitely should not have been watching at that time. Newly released body cam footage shows the deputy's reaction to the accident, and an internal investigation report shows he came clean before resigning. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. 28-year-old Tristan McComber was a deputy with the Lake County, Florida Sheriff's Office, and he apparently crashed his patrol vehicle into the back of another car that was stopped for a school bus. And after that, what did he do? He subsequently decided to quit instead of being fired. Now you might be saying, wait a second, Jesse, why would he quit? It's probably an accident, right? Why would he quit over this? You see, the fact that he crashed isn't the reason he was the subject of an internal investigation. No, it's because of what he was doing just before the accident. And to talk more about that, I'm going to bring in Alexis Rosenberg, trial attorney, federal litigator, to talk more about this. Thanks so much for coming here on Sidebar. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Now, before I get your reaction,
All right, I don't want her reaction. I'd rather see her reaction to the porn he was watching. See, there I go again. It was a family broadcast. Let's see the tape.
So this accident happened back in November in Sorrento.
That was it.
Homer rear ends the car, but you can tell he has something in his right hand, and that looks like a phone.
Imagine this. Airbag deployed.
Attention, 911 assist is turned on. Therefore, 911 assist call will not be made by phone.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is who's supposedly running the corporation on all sides. We're now at the point where they're running into each other. The cops are watching porn. It's probably not a good place to be, psychologically, sociologically. These are all forecasts of an inevitable end, is how I see it. All right, let me go. Cops demand answers, but get schooled instead. We're gonna just run through these. They've been up here from this week. A couple sob sets. I may even hit some Carl Lenz. Let's see what we got.
My job is to keep the community safe.
And I applaud you for trying to do your job.
You're giving me zero information of why you're
giving
here.
you information,
You don't live
sir.
here, right?
Do you know that I don't live here?
Violations are not any kind of criminal offense. They're only made up by you. This is why they stopped the Chevron doctrine. Of course, you know the Chevron degree. Well, you know. So listen, it's changing, but it's fine. So you guys are
welcome to the Mr. White channel. Today we'll dive into dramatic videos that show you how to protect yourself.
All right, come on, let's go.
Hit like and subscribe to help spread.
Like and subscribe. We got it.
What's that? Is that a bank sign of some kind?
Identification.
For what?
The post office called said that you're taking pictures and stuff, and it kind of feeling uncomfortable. So we want to ID you to make sure you're okay. And
Not unless I've broken a law, sir.
what's that?
Not unless I've broken a law.
Well, you're making people feel uneasy and stuff like that. So we just want to identify you to make sure everything's okay.
That'd be code 34285 3.5. Okay. Well, when you tell me what crime I've committed, I'm obligated.
You haven't committed a crime.
Then I'm not obligated
Well,
to.
why are you taking pictures and stuff? You're making people feel uneasy. See what I'm saying? When we get called to something, we got to serve protect the people, right? So when they call us and they're concerned about somebody, okay? Well, I don't need that. Okay?
My Fifth Amendment right.
Okay.
You're being live streamed.
What's that?
You're being live streamed.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Audio and video
recording.
I know I can.
I'm just telling you.
I'm simply letting you know.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. Here, you want to read it?
No, I don't need to read it. I'm just
Well,
telling you.
then you know my Fifth Amendment.
What's that?
You know my Fifth Amendment. Okay.
Right. But when we get called to suspicious persons, sir.
What? Now, what is that a misdemeanor or a felony, sir?
What's that?
Is that a misdemeanor or a felony?
You haven't committed anything.
Then I don't have to ID
who you are.
You can call me good citizen. You can call me whatever you want.
Good slave.
You can call me bright guy with a camera. I'm not hiding in the bushes.
I didn't say you were hiding in the bushes.
Well, I don't know what they said.
Well, they called concerned. Okay.
Well, that's their fears don't trump my rights. Are we in agreement with that?
No.
Okay. Well, that's too bad because that's the law.
Okay. Well,
I know the law, and so do you. We both know the law. And that failure to ID law only pertains to if I've committed a misdemeanor or felony.
Well, what are you doing taking pictures?
I don't answer questions.
Okay.
I have a right not to.
All right. You have a good day, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Guy, you can record me all you want.
I know, sir.
Okay. There's someone just flagged me down and said there's a gentleman with a kid that are acting suspicious. Just sitting here.
I don't know how sitting is
Okay.
acting suspicious.
Okay, so all I'm asking you is, what are you doing here?
What I'm doing isn't relevant.
It is relevant.
Okay.
Okay, come on, stand up for me.
For what?
Come on, just stand up.
Why are you touching me, sir?
Stand up. Come over here.
Why are you touching me?
You have ID on you?
I do have ID.
Okay, let me see your ID.
Sir, I'm not required to produce ID unless I'm being suspected of committing a crime.
170 Sam, you buying LTEC?
I don't understand how sitting here waiting
Because
for
all I'm trying to do is communicate with you and find out what you're doing here.
I told you, sir, I'm waiting for a friend.
Okay, but why are you here?
Because I'm waiting for a friend.
Okay, not good enough.
How is that not good enough, sir? I've answered your question.
1031, 170 Sam.
170 Sam LTEC.
Can I have your name and badge number, sir?
Yep, in a minute. It's right there if you want to film it. You can film it.
Boy, and your badge number?
right there. You can film it.
69.
170 Sam, you buy out there? Hey, can you not let them beat me at Cedar Bluff and Rothrock, please? I got an unco-op citizen.
I don't understand again how I'm uncooperative. I've answered
You're
your
not
question.
answering the simple questions that I'm asking. You're not answering.
I've already answered your question, sir.
You didn't. You did not tell me why you're here.
I don't have to tell you why I'm here,
Okay,
sir.
well, that's the issue we're having.
But I don't have to. I'm not required by law to tell you why I'm
I
here.
didn't say you were.
Okay, so
But
then why?
as a normal citizen, someone who would like to keep the neighborhood safe, you should just give me simple answers so I can leave.
I gave you a simple answer,
No,
sir.
it's not the answer I'm looking for.
That doesn't matter what you're looking for,
Can
sir.
you come down to Rothrock and Cedar Bluff?
Yeah, copy for me, so.
Hey, when you were down here earlier on Cedar Bluff, did you contact anyone?
No, sir. The house empty.
All right, I got a guy and a young kid down here that are refusing to give me any information, and apparently don't have any reason to be here. So come on down here for me.
Sir, I've given you a reason why I'm here.
No, you know what it is? You're just being a jerk.
I'm not being a
You are
jerk,
being
sir.
a jerk, bro.
Standing up for my rights isn't being a jerk.
It's not standing up for your rights.
Sir, it absolutely
it's
is.
cooperating with me to keep the community safe, to tell me why you're here and why you don't belong here.
How do you know that I don't belong here, sir?
That's what I'm asking you.
I've already given you an explanation of why I'm
Sitting
here.
here waiting for your friend is not a good enough answer.
So sitting,
You can't tell me where you have a car here?
that's not relevant, sir.
Okay, that's the problem we're having. You're totally uncooperative.
It's not uncooperative,
It is
sir.
uncooperative.
Am I legally obligated to answer your questions?
No, you're not.
Okay, so then what is the problem?
Because it just goes to show you that you're a troublemaker.
It's not a troublemaker,
You
sir.
are.
I've never been arrested. I've never
And
been in trouble
really-
in my life.
You're setting a very poor example for this young kid right here.
To teach my son how to stand up for his rights?
It's not about standing up for your rights.
Sure it
It's
is.
about standing up for the community. My job is to keep the community safe.
And I applaud you for
you're-
trying to do your
You're
job.
giving me zero information of why
I've
you're here.
given you information,
live
sir.
here.
Fucking dweeb.
Right?
Do you know that I don't live here?
No, but I've asked for your ID and you won't give it to me.
Because I'm not obligated to give you my
Then
ID,
this
sir.
is the issue we're having.
Sir, I'm not
There's
obligated.
obviously I'm not saying you're obligated.
Okay,
but
so then
we've run into an
Is it
issue.
literally the hall monitors is cool when you want to get out of class for like 30 minutes or, a few minutes, whatever the case. I mean, for me, I never went, but, they're like, listen, we're trying to keep the hall safe. All right. We got a job to do. Why can't we just question you and ask everything about what you're doing, where you're going, follow you into the bathroom, Peter gaze a little bit. It's like, dude, you're creepy. You're weird. It's just a little too much. You're doing a little too much. It's not
Here,
necessary.
where you're being uncooperative, not giving me the information I'm asking.
I've answered every question you have, sir.
Okay, we'll just wait here and see
That's fine.
what my sergeant wants to do.
That is absolutely fine, sir. I have no problem talking to your sergeant.
Great.
I don't understand how
You do understand. You're just being difficult.
it's, sir, being difficult. I mean, is it my obligation to not be difficult?
Well, when I'm just trying to simply do my job and you want to be disrespectful.
I wasn't
and rude,
disrespectful
okay,
at all.
let me-
I've called
let me
you sir.
rephrase that.
I've
If
been
you-
very
you just don't want
respectful.
to give me the information I'm looking for.
I've answered every question.
No, you don't. No, you're not.
Sir, I have. I've
asked
answered
you where
every.
you live. You say it's not relevant. I've asked for your ID. You won't give it to me. So that's the issue.
I'm not obligated to identify myself unless I'm being detained for
Okay,
a
well,
crime.
you may be here shortly if it's
For what?
If it's gonna,
Am I detained right now?
No, you're not.
Okay, son, let's go.
Okay.
Nate,
Hit the
get
road.
up.
Hey, good luck in the future, young man.
Yeah, it's great.
That's in the
Nate,
fourth example.
let's go.
Yeah.
Have I committed a crime?
No,
Can I be on my way?
no. You're detained for a motor vehicle violation, which is not a crime. It's a traffic violation.
Which is a violation. Which statutes and violations are not any kind of criminal offense. They're only made up by you. This is why they stopped the Chevron doctrine. Of course, the Chevron
I
degree.
know.
So listen, it's changing, but it's fine. So you guys are corrupt. You work for a corporation. So what happens is, I'm a free man traveling.
Okay.
I'm
In
not
New Jersey.
in New Jersey. That's
So
right.
that's
And it
the
doesn't.
answer
I can
to
travel.
your
And I can travel interstate. I can go from state to state anywhere I want. It's my 14th Amendment right. My 4th Amendment right. That I can travel within these lanes. It's actually.
Sir, I'm not going to waste my breath because you believe in what you believe, and me telling you what is right and what's legal.
It's not right.
Change your mind.
It's not
So
right.
you
It's
just
not
sit here and
legal.
wait.
It's unlawful.
Summons will be coming, and you can fight in a court where you know.
I'm not going in court.
I'm not arguing with you because I'm not going to change your mind.
Because it's a corporation. You're a corporation and you work for a corporation.
This is the reality we're facing, a system in dire need of transparency and accountability. In areas like Texas, where over 25,000 complaints of police misconduct were reported last action, which video resonated with.
All right, I'm going to leave it there. Slowly but surely, they're getting the point that we understand the difference between the law of the land and corporate policy, and that one has nothing to do with the other, and you can't override one for the other unless it's, well, of course, pursuant to the law, right? We can override statute, policy, and code pursuant to the law of the land, not the other way around. That makes sense. It's part of checks and balances. We're back to 8th grade civics. All right, crazy sovereign citizen suing the judge, and then I'm out of here. I'll give Cameron and whoever's left a final word if they want it.
Kirk Jensen here, who's unrepresented. Mr. Jensen, would you come up and have a seat? Josh, you kind of inherited this. Mr. Jensen was originally charged with traffic violations. The matter was set for a jury trial for August 16th, I believe it was. We had summoned jurors and we were ready to proceed. Earlier that week, I believe August 14th, Mr. Marvin filed a felony complaint based on the same set of facts. So the matter was set for a pre-exam conference. Mr. Jensen has made every court hearing, but he did express that he wants to represent himself. I offered to appoint counsel at each stage of the misdemeanor proceedings, and again in this case, but he declined. So, Mr. Jensen, you still wish to represent yourself in this matter?
I wish to have this case completely dismissed.
Well, everybody feels that way. Everybody else who wants their case dismissed, raise your right hand. Yeah, that's unanimous. So that's not up to me. But the question is, I'm willing to appoint counsel for you, but you've represented to me at each stage you wish to represent yourself.
I do not wish to have any counsel.
All right. Well, then let's talk about where we are. Where's the complaint? The complaint alleges that on or about April 6th in Lockport Township, that you did obstruct justice by preferring a counterfeit U.S. passport and counterfeit international driver's license at the time of a lawful traffic stop, an attempt to avoid criminal liability for driving without a license. The way that is charged, it is a felony punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $10,000. The second count is possession of a reproduced, altered, counterfeit, or forged chauffeur's license. Operator's or chauffeur's license. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. Count 3 alleges that you had no valid operator's license, plain old no ops. Are also charged with a civil infraction of no proof of insurance.
And I object to those. I object to that being labeled as counterfeit on all of those documents.
All right. Mr. O'Bear, do you have any instructions here or a plea offer? Or?
So the offer would be if the defendant wanted to plead to count 3, operating with no license, it's the 90-day misdemeanor. We would recommend fines and costs.
I object to that, and I will not consent to that either.
All right, let me unpack that a little bit. All right, you're charged with a felony, and you're charged with possession of a false or forged counterfeit license. You're also charged with no proof of insurance. The prosecutor would dismiss all of those charges if you plead to no valid operator's license with a fine and cost. You may be the first person in my 20 1-year career that objects to having all the felony charges dismissed for a plea to a $200 fine. Nonetheless, you object.
I object to the fact that it's been labeled as counterfeit.
All right, well, they're just willing to dismiss that charge. The allegation in count 3 is that you are operating a vehicle on a public roadway without having a valid license, sometimes called no ops or no valid operator's license. It's under 257301 of the Michigan Traffic Code. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. It carries 2 points and it goes on your driving record. If you plead guilty to that charge, I'm going to fine you $225. I'm going to give you time to pay it, and the matter will be done. If you don't wish to plead to that, we're going to have a preliminary examination next Wednesday, where the prosecutor will attempt to bind you over to circuit court on felony charges and continue the matter for a felony conviction with potential prison sentence. So his offer is to just be done with all of it for a plea to no valid operators. That's, I frankly was kind of surprised by the generous offer, but that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a generous offer to remove all the fraudulent charges the officer's using to misuse his official position, because they want to start now claiming that a passport that's been filled out with a different status or standing that a lot of us are doing or have done is a counterfeit document when the agency and the organization issued it. How is it counterfeit if the official organization issued it? So this is these are fraudulent false charges. You're not doing anyone any favors by throwing that out. You should be taking this cop to jail and releasing this man immediately, because he has a right to travel in his property and doesn't have counterfeit documents because the official organization issued them. It's not an attempt to defraud someone. It's an attempt to correct the record and one's status. See, the cops are doing everything they can for their dark Mason buddies to try to dissuade everyone from correcting their status and standing on record, because they don't want you under God and under rights. They want you under their Saturnalian brotherhood. And guess what? It's not exactly honorable and good faith to knowingly write down something you know is not true because you think you're going to try to fuck this guy's life up and teach everyone else a lesson about who runs the town. We're going to find out, because your town is inside of a universe, and I'm pretty sure the Prince of the Ether isn't the God completely, the highest God, if you will, right? It may be the God of your world, but it's not the highest sense of self, the highest law and order.
So our options are to plead to having no valid operator's license. You can even plead no contest. You can plead no contest. You don't admit what happened, but you also don't deny what happened. You allow or accept that a conviction will enter. You and I have a fundamental disagreement about what it means to operate a vehicle or what it means to travel. But if you want this matter to be over with, you can enter a no contest plea to no valid operator's license. If you want to reap the whirlwind, we can have a preliminary examination next Tuesday afternoon regarding the matter. What would you like to do, Mr. Jensen?
I don't accept any of that.
All right, the matter will be set for prelim.
And just to make it clear, this will be the third time that a charge of no operator's license has been levied against me, and I'm standing against it because those documents are valid, and I object to them being labeled as counterfeit.
Find out next week. So that will be Tuesday, September 5th at 1 p.m. prelim. All right, your bond is continued. You're free to go.
And just a reminder of the civil case that is ongoing, and those who are named in that, yourself and Mr. Marvin as well. Just to make sure that
Which civil case is that?
civil case, the notices, and all the recusals and everything that's been filed into this case that I've been filing in. Just to make note of that, that it is, on the record.
Well, let's take a look. Oh, you filed a August 28th, which is yesterday. I got this. I didn't see it. Objection to the report and recommendation in the matter of civil case. You filed this in federal court?
This was done in a federal court, has a federal case number on it. And all the defendants are listed.
All right.
Along with the notice.
Oh, it's great pleadings. It cites Abraham and the Book of Nations and a bunch of other jabberwocky. But it has been filed in the federal court. All right, that's all a matter of record. It's in the file. And you've even got Hebrew letters in here. Okay, I'll see you next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Yes? Yes?
I'm Mr. Jensen's transportation.
Yes.
And on the 5th, my wife has chemo, and I have to take her to that. Is there a way that we can put it off to the following week? If that's all right with Mr. Jensen?
That would dump the matter on Judge Pattison, which I'm sure he would greatly dislike. So I'm sorry, but we'll leave it for that date.
It would be the 6th that would work.
I'm open to any date at this point.
We schedule things at certain times and everything affects everything else. So no, it's next Tuesday. You could be done with this for $225. And so we'll be next Tuesday, sworn testimony in court regarding this matter. You wish to not have counsel, and we'll continue that. I'll make further record. At this point, I'm declining to recuse myself. This is just a straightforward matter. All right, next Tuesday, 1 o'clock. Evening.
All right, Cameron, you want to give a final word? I'm going to wrap it up.
Yeah, he said this time I'm going to decline from recusing myself. All right, we're going to go ahead and throw in an injunctive stay pending appeal. Like, I'm not going to keep coming back here anymore. We're stopping this now. And we're just going to take it up to the higher one, and we'll get a judicial review on him and then put him in official capacity to show that if he continues to do what he's doing when there's constitutional violations occurring here, when he's talking about jabberwocky. Yeah, I'm going to show you some jabberwocky, homeboy. When I jabberwocky your ass off of that damn podium, off of that stand when you walk in the back. So, yeah, just know that when it comes down to stuff like that, we've gotten even further. Like, we're stopping the court. We ain't coming back. And that's going to be my final words. We stand on it.
Thank you, sir. Matthew, you got final words?
Yo.
Yeah, you got final words?
Yeah. So the document I gave you. What, like, did you pass it by your lady friend?
Yeah, what do you Jennifer? What do you want me to do with her?
Was it correct? Like the format and everything.
Well, I'd have to look at it again. I can look at it again, and then I could tell you what I think about.
That's what I was asking.
All right, I'll look at it tonight, and I'll email you.
No, you won't. All right, dude. Be safe. Nice. Hearing
You
your
just
rap.
tell me no, I won't. You're right. Now I won't.
Well, you haven't
No. You
emailed
just called me a
back.
liar. You just said I'm dishonorable. So you're right. Go fuck yourself. Now I'm not emailing. You just talked yourself, just like you would at court. You just talked yourself right out of the interaction. Great stuff.
I've emailed you 3 times.
Me.
And
I
you
just
never
told
emailed
you
me
what I was
back.
going to do is if I say shit and don't do it, right? Maybe that's you, but that's not me. So since
Yeah, but
wanna
you
say
said
that
you'd
that's
email me, and
now
you
I'm
haven't
gonna-
fucking
I'll
emailed
see you
me.
later. Bye. Tired of you folks using me, parasiting off me, abusing me, projecting onto me, and thinking I'm going to be your fucking daddy and love you without condition and let you do what you do day in and day out. That makes you non-credible. and disempowered. So now you're right. You'll be lucky now if I decide to take some of my fucking time with the rest of my day to interact with your nonsense and go over your documents because you can't do it for yourself. You'll be lucky if I do it now. And maybe we'll see if you'll be thankful and grateful instead of unthankful and ungrateful and projecting onto me that I'm bad faith and dishonorable and that I say something and don't do it, right? I'll see you later. Cameron, I'm putting you to the back. I'm going to wrap up. All right. Never a dull moment, huh? I'm out of here. I'm back tomorrow. Somewhere between 12 and 5, maybe earlier because I got an appointment to get a scan just to see what's going on. And yeah, we'll go from there. Say goodnight to the bad guy. Paul Undecastrated, ultra extended remix, the conversation between myself and Chili DeCastro, Gorilla Gems. I don't think I've watched it yet, but it's pretty long. So bye.
Hello.
DeCastro.
This call. Hey, buddy, what's going on, man? Is this Paul Enslaved?
Yeah, it's Paul Enslaved.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
I just heard the recording in the background. You recording this call?
All my calls are recorded, Paul. You know that. I don't ever not record a call because there's so many fucking trolls out there in the world.
I know. There's so many trolls, man.
People who don't care about anything other than being famous or being known or trying to step on me so people talk about them.
Well, that's kind of what you do, right? I don't understand the difference. I mean, you claim to be a scholar. You don't stand on truth, rights, and freedom. You demean everyone who does. You try to use your disempowered base to this gets funny to you?
I think you're funny, bro.
Why am I funny?
Well, because you turned into a joke.
I turned into a joke? Why? Because I actually do what you sell tickets to do and then show up and cry at court and embarrass everyone?
Blah, blah, blah. Paul, you don't understand, man.
Why are you so scared to face me or the truth?
I have a following, Paul.
I know you have a following. You're everything you just claimed. You just want to be famous. You just want money and numbers. You don't give a fuck about the country, rights, or freedom. You're an agent.
Really? So what I don't want to do is walk people into jail with idiotic ideas.
Well, you walked yourself into jail with idiotic ideas. We all saw you at court cry like a bitch after saying you hate cops and do a 160. You haven't seen me do that yet.
Why are you so mad, Paul?
Well, why am I so mad? I'm passionate for truth and I'm oriented toward justice. Two things you're not.
I sound like you're mad, bro.
Well, I mean, if I am mad, shouldn't I be mad that a bunch of grift and lying scum are detracting or trying to demean or devalue a movement that good people are on while you do nothing to help yourself or the rest of this land, but use a power base to get you money and numbers?
Are you referring to me as grifting, lying scum?
Yeah, what have you done for rights and freedom, principles, spiritual faith, the law, other than cry at court, say you hate cops, and pretty much be known as a clown joke agent by everyone who's really living this shit?
I have, just off the top of my head, I've bailed 15 people out of jail. They really don't think that way about
you
me.
Bailed people out of jail? So you made contracts with the state to get people out of what they got themselves into. More abdication of responsibility and accountability. Great stuff.
Oh, so
how about teaching them how to uphold the law and secure their rights, freedom, principles, and property? Did you ever think of that, law scholar guru?
What's the purpose of this call, man?
What's the purpose of this call is I'm restreaming you embarrassing yourself, playing videos of children. You keep saying you're my friend and my buddy. Didn't I tell you the last time we've never been friends? Didn't I tell you that last time that we've never been friends? I was friendly with you because we were supposedly aligned in rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith till you completely went left. Now you're accusing me of doing that, but that's you. I've never changed anything that I do. I'm the one with all the results, not selling nothing.
Oh, I get it. I'm on a live stream right now so you can get content.
It's not get content. You are the content. Your loser, failuredom, and cowardice has been the content. I've called you, bro, I've called you 2 or 3 times so far in a live stream and you never get back to me or answer because you're shook to death. You're shook to death of the truth. I got you running scared. That's the way it's supposed to be.
I always pick up your calls if I see the phone ringing.
Oh, please. So the last 2 times I called on the live stream, you didn't see the call and never got back to me? Just like Brian didn't too after he scheduled a broadcast with me. You guys are punk cowards. And you all keep saying you're my friend because we did a couple things together. How are we friends? I don't trust you. I don't respect you. You don't stand for nothing. You cuck up and bitch up and you're an embarrassment. You think I'd be friends with someone like that? who lies and grifts on an audience?
This little rant you're doing is going to be really good for your content, bro.
Thank you. It is going to be great content. I'm putting you on record. I didn't come in this to be a Greco-Roman wrestler. That's one thing you brought up. I didn't come in this for the numbers and the money. You brought that up. I didn't come in this to do sit-ups and pull-ups and dips. I came into this for rights, freedom, principles, and spiritual faith. And I'm doing that and getting results. You say you're in this for that, and you're not. You got horrible results, and you're a cock. There's nothing before or after that. You're not a law scholar. You're not a legal scholar. You're a fucking coward and an embarrassment. You're grifting, selling fake products that don't work, because if they work, you'd use them at your court case, and you didn't because they don't. And that's all I'm talking about. Whether you're in better shape than me, can beat me up, have more money and numbers, has nothing to do with credibility and true power and value. So now that you understand the difference, little boy, I'm going to let you go. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves him. Okay? See how they are? Mr. Man of the people who's so loving and caring. Soon as you get him in private, I got more money than you. I got more numbers. I'm a wrestler. I'll beat you up. Then it's, I love you. I'm your friend. I'll give you a hug on the street. How about just sticking on how you call yourself a law scholar, sell products that don't work, present an image that's not authentically you to your audience? You can get more money and numbers and hold it over other people's head, and then try to lean into how you gave me a platform. You, Brian and David, claim to be patriots, claim to be lawful, upholding the law, claim to be about rights and freedoms. By bringing me on, you gave your audience what you can't give them with all three of you in the room. You didn't do a favor for me. You did your audience a favor. You finally gave them access to look at and listen to a man who honors himself and the land and the truth and walks the shit he talks, unlike all three of you. See how that works? How about you come on panel and stop being a bitch?
I'm not your content, bro.
You are the content. What do you mean you're not the content? You're the content right now.
Great, because you called me up and ambushed me like a punk.
I called you 3 or 4 times so far, and the last time we talked, you, like Brian, make plans and don't stand on it.
Call yourself the white gorilla. You should call yourself the white chumpzilla.
I'm not a chump. That's you. You cried at court and bitched up. I got another dismissal 3 months ago at gun charges, and now I'm suing them with a handwritten claim. You ain't no legal lawful scholar. You're a fraud and a bitch. And I'll meet up with you and tell you to their face you're a fraud and a bitch. I ain't the chump. That's you. Why don't you go beg your audience to buy another 1,000 trifolds so you can waste another 200,000, ask another man to talk for you at court, law scholar.
Do the math on 200 trifolds, bro. Yeah, playboy, do the math on 200 trifolds. Do it. I got an idea, Paul. Make a trifold selling the idea not to use the driver's license.
I got an idea. Stop being a bitch and destroying your legacy with all the real ones when you could have been a leader and an asset, but you cocked the fuck up. You're not a leader. You're the blind leading the blind. You're the coward leading the cowards.
Why is it, do you think, that I have the following that I have?
I already answered that. Why is it? Let me put it to you like this, decastrated. You're not going to tell me the reason. You're imposing your own reason. Why does Bill Gates have more of a following than me? Why does Donald Trump have more of a following than me? Why does Anthony Fauci have more of a following than me? For the same reason you do. Dummy.
Following anymore, Paul, because you beat people up and you're horrible person.
No, it's because I call you beta males out and hold you accountable and responsible, and you run from that everywhere in your life. And I get to play the bad guy. But stand on truth and what's right. I love it.
You want to run a mile?
I love it.
If you want to do pull-ups, I can dominate.
Pull-ups? Wait a second. Now you're going to pull-ups? First you went to money. Now you're going to pull-ups. How about doing what we both said that we do? How about, now here you go. Now you want to make physical threats about you being a wrestler. How about we stick to, hey, insecure bitch-ass motherfucker. I know you could hold me down, just like you were crying at court, right? How about decastrated, right? It's great content. Show who and what you really are. I love it. Now you're threatening me with physical harm. So how about we stand on, I know you could dominate me, but guess what? Any challenge I name, how about go to court and not submit all your rights and cuck up and cry and be a bitch? Oops. Oops.
I think it's 7 figures for what they did to me.
7 figures. And you're going to hire another man to do it for you, law scholar. Any competition you want. You already lost the main competition. Standing on rights and freedom and litigating in court. You failed beyond belief. You didn't dominate me or anyone else. You got dominated and slaved the fuck up, and you cucked up and cried. And you called your mama Brian every day you were back there to cry about how you didn't have your comforts. You're the biggest bitch ever. Who you kidding you're gonna wrestle me and beat me up? I'm done with you, DeCastro. Get on the panel right now or you're a bitch. Next time I come over there, you let me up or you're a bitch. You ain't gonna sit here and take this through. You're boring me. You're boring me. You already destroyed your legacy. You already showed who and what you are. Your numbers are 1/10 of what they used to be. So keep crying about how much money and numbers you got. You were real desperate behind the wall to get green dots. You can't be doing too good. I wasn't crying online last couple times I went to jail for green dots to get out. You're a fascist, statist, collectivist traitor. You cite other men's works for where you get your understanding of God and the law. You're a fascist statist. You ain't an American. You ain't our countryman.
Didn't I try to raise you up?
I didn't. Well, because there you go again. Because you gave me a platform to talk the real shit that I'm doing that you're not doing. You did something for me? No, you gave your audience what you should be giving them that you can't give them. I'm sorry, you're such an effeminate bitch who has no passion or truth in you.
I get it. You have people on your panel and then you cut them down.
No, I expose them for who and what they are. There's a difference. See, you're a victim now. I'm bullying you while you just said you're going to beat me up. I'm bullying you now with the truth by exposing you for who and what you are, and I'm cutting you down, right? You're a victim? No, I'm talking about who and what you are and the record and the facts.
You're not capable of bullying me, bro.
I don't need to bully you. Ann Zimmerman bullied your bitch ass at court. You were crying and begging for forgiveness.
Listen, think about this, man. This is great content for you, dude.
I know it is. It's great content.
You're so welcome, bro.
Oh, thank you, bro. You finally answered the phone and stopped being a complete bitch and answered for who and what you are.
Oh, my nuts. I can see you right now. My nuts down there. I see your little white girl.
Your nuts are so small. Your nuts are so small with what you showed at court. No one can ride on them.
Take a bong rip, bro.
Take a bong rip, bro.
Let yourself go, bro.
Yeah.
Let yourself go.
Why don't you suck on this pipe like you want to do, like you were excited to do at jail, bending over for everybody?
I don't smoke dope, dude. The reason why I don't smoke.
No, not that pipe. The pipe you want to put in your mouth with them red glasses, Fruity.
Disgusting.